Yep, we'll have it on. I'm Brian from WRDN Radio. Yeah, we have it on our website and our YouTube channels. Yeah. So this is our fourth year doing this. This is actually the first fair we did something like this. We did it during the pandemic when they just had it for the exhibitors. They still had a show, and I wanted to get out of the 12 by 12 padded room, and I purchased that camera 3 months earlier, and it was like everything got shut down, and so we decided to try it, and it worked so well that we do about 20 shows a year from our area.
Very nice.
I'll give you that to put in your
There'll be
wallet. That's your lunch ticket for later.
So it'll be on that. It'll be saved somewhere.
On our YouTube channel, yep. It'll be, once we're done doing the live stream, it'll save. It takes about a day for it to save up. And then we're doing our station YouTube channel. And yeah, there's a lot. I know at Northern Wisconsin State Fair, one of the ag instructors said he actually used last year's beef show for the students that were showing beef, and they kind of like what football teams do.
Oh, sure.
So they quote unquote watch the film. Yep. So.
It's a good practice too for like judging. Yeah. I know my husband teaches the other fairs. So he teaches the other counties.
We get a lot of that. And then like for next week we have the Buffalo Pepper County Fair. And so we'll do it on YouTube and all of that, but our cable company, we do high school games, and we always put it on the school district's cable channel, and the school district said, well, you can put that on. So we'll have all on anything as well. So.
Oh, we got good. How was your drive? Oh, thank you for coming.
I'm glad I left early because there's traffic in the city. So.
Really? What time did you leave? So you left at 5:30 and you still got here now? That's really good.
Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. Good morning, I'm Brian Winnikins from the Dunn County Fair, and we are just a little bit away from today's Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show, and things will be getting underway here in just a couple of minutes. I had just a little bit of a delay, but our judge is now here, and things will be getting underway here in just a couple minutes. And we got a pretty great show today for the swine show, and then right after the swine show we'll be heading back into the barns for the beef show as well, as the beef show is scheduled for 1 o'clock this afternoon. But we'll get things underway here in just a couple minutes. Sit back, relax. Beautiful morning here at the Dunn County Fair, and we'll get our swine show underway here in just a couple minutes.
It is. Isn't this a nice show ring under the tree? Yeah. Not everybody has it every year.
Like, these two trees there, how can you miss this out?
Yes. Yeah, if you get closer to the shade.
Well, you got 100 if this judge ain't
120. 121. Oh, well then you got showmanship. So for showmanship, I didn't break them into heats. They're 1-3 long. If you want them broken into heats, let me know and I'll break them into heats. And the fair, so it's Danish judges. So if you only want, so when Kyle did it, Kyle Roseboom. So, are we reading or market? Market Barrow? Yeah.
I was going. I was just about ready to say. I think we got She just went right to the lines.
She probably was eating her candy first.
Took the fashion off. Thank you.
Oh no, it's okay, kiddo.
That's
Good
all right.
job.
That's all right. Little bit's not gonna be a big deal.
You got $2 left? You can keep the $2.
Yep, that $2 is yours.
Oh yeah, the coffee was on my window.
That's all right. The
Oh,
$3
okay.
are yours. Then. That's fine.
Thanks, kiddo.
It's called what your mom and I. The $3 is what your mom and I call a convenience store.
Delivery fee. So you can tell we're going to start in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. We did make a selection already with we added a Chester White.
Good morning, swine exhibitors. We will be starting with our breeding gilts in 5 minutes. Showtime in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. I'm left-handed. Yeah. Kind of like your brother.
I always have to sit on the corner.
Yeah. No, that's okay. You know, they're twins, but he's left-handed and she's right.
Oh, really?
All right. You got it? Okay. Okay, well then you can look at it. Oh, did you? Right? Because I'm going to have to shed this, I think. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's for...
What do you want to know, Ryan? Steel is not up until...
Yeah, sure.
Once again, good morning. I'm Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio in Durand. We're just a few minutes away from the start of today's Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show. Thank you to the Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board. They're our main sponsors of our streaming or of our video streaming service. So please thank them for their support, and we'll also be thanking our Dunn County Fair sponsors as well throughout the day. And As we've said in the past, during past events, please thank all of our sponsors. Without the support of our all of our sponsors, we couldn't make these video streams possible. So please give our sponsors a call, drop them an email, visit their business, and tell them thank you for supporting our business. Looks like our video streams, I should say. So it looks like we are almost ready to go with our first class.
All right, we are going to get started. Our judge today is Todd Franz. Todd is from southern Minnesota and said he had a long drive coming through the city. So we appreciate him coming to Menominee and just judge our Dunn County Swine Show today. We are starting the show with our purebred Gilt Berkshire class. We have Emily in the ring. We're just waiting for Ryland's Berkshire Breeding Gilt to start our Breeding Gilt show.
And as always, those of you watching on our Facebook Live stream, let us know in the comments where you're watching us from this morning. Good morning to Beaver Dam this morning, once again checking in. And give us just let us know in the comment section on our Facebook Live page.
Well, you can sit these until Dwayne and Susan get here. Huh? They're not coming. Yeah. And it's only mingle. How you doing, Olivia?
Again, we're starting the day with our Breeding Gilt class. In the ring right now, Emily is showing off her Berkshire. And while we're waiting, we can give a little facts courtesy of Pork Checkoff. Our Berkshire breed is third most recorded breed of swine in the U.S. And they are known for fast and efficient growth, reproductive efficiency, cleanness, and meat flavor and value. The first U.S. meeting of Berkshire breeders happened in 1875. And the Berkshire Association formed shortly after, making it the oldest swine registry in the world. Again, we are waiting on Ryland's purebred Berkshire Gilt.
So we're underway with our first class today.
After Berkshire, we will be moving to our Duroc Breeding Gilt classes. Duroc Breeding Gilt on deck.
Good morning. Certainly a great day for a pig show. Can't order much better weather than this, and got a nice class to start off with. A pair of Berkshire Gilts have got some quality and something to work with. And young ladies just separates pretty easy for me. This is a really nice Berkshire Gilt, and I'm not sure you can find one with a better underline than that. Just an absolute perfect spacing. This is going to be a really nice female that is feminine about her neck, one that you can put in the crate, is going to lay down and have some pigs, and really do a nice job for this young lady. Well presented, high quality gilt that can stand some competition. Young man brings us another nice gilt, and this gilt's got some power when you get on the top side of her. She's got some thickness. Like to get that underline changed a little bit. She's got a spacing issue and a couple extras in there that make it tough in the crate. But she's fairly mobile. She can get out and move pretty easy. Just needs a shot more power and clean that underline up. But that's a high quality pair of gilts. Let's give these two young exhibitors a nice hand to start off our morning.
In that Berkshire class, first place and blue went to Emily Zukowski. First red went to Rylan Homestead. We'll now move on to our Duroc breeding gilts. First class, Hunter Roberts with a March purebred gilt.
Oh, there's one that every night, well, we always have the one. Wants to stay out in the ring for a little longer. Probably, I think she's disputing the judge's the judge's decision here. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll get our next class out now. The Duroc's coming out. Morning to Milwaukee this morning as well. Thanks for watching. Those of you watching on our Facebook live feed, feel free
Again,
to.
we have Durocs entering the show ring. As you can see, the red hogs are our second most recorded breed of swine in the U.S. They are characteristic with drooping ears, and their product quality, carcass yield, fast growth, and lean gain efficiency. They also add value through their prolificity and longevity in the female line. And most of the U.S. breed improvement has occurred down in Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Nebraska. Again, we're on our breeding gilt Duroc class. On deck, we have Miranda Creaser, and then our January breeding gilts.
Thank you to Katie Wantak, our ring announcer today with the University of Wisconsin Extension, and she's providing some very nice trivia during the show.
Young man brings us a nice Duroc gilt to start off our Duroc division, and this is a functional sound one that's got some bone and got some width about her. Maybe a little tough to evaluate. She doesn't want to get out and catch that second gear and keep that head up, but I think if you get her to do that, and I think she can, she's one that's certainly sound enough. She's good-footed, super nice and complete in terms of her profile and package. Let's give this young man a hand, a nice blue ribbon gilt to start off the Durocs.
In that March purebred Duroc gilt class, first blue was awarded to Hunter Roberts. Now entering the ring is our February purebred Duroc gilt. On deck, January purebred Duroc gilts.
Young lady brings out another high-quality Duroc gilt in this drive, and this is, I call this one a boxy, stout one. She's really robust and big in her hip and gets out and moves good. Balance is super. This is another high-quality blue ribbon one. It'll be nice to bring her out in the champion drive. Congratulations.
That February purebred Duroc gilt was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. Now entering the ring is our last class of Duroc breeding gilts. These are our January, should have 3 Duroc gilts in the show ring.
Mom, what's not good?
Watching coverage of the 2024 Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show, and thank you to our...
Owen Howe, do you have a January purebred market gilt for this class?
And thank you to our Dunn County Fair sponsors as well, including Sunny Sky CBD of Durand, featuring CBD products for you and your family. And
again, this is
even
our
your
last
pets.
class of Durocs. On deck should be Poland China, followed by Yorkshires.
Also, thank you to Synergy Co-op, your local LS and TYM tractor dealer, in Ridgeland. Visit synergycoop.com for more information. And Compeer Financial, a member-owned farm credit cooperative serving and supporting agriculture and rural communities. Visit compeer.com for more information. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business, tell them thank you for supporting our video streams today. Also, thank you to the Dunn County Fair Board as well. Let them know you appreciate our video streams here from the Dunn County Fair. We'll also have the beef show coming up this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll make the mad dash from the show ring here for the swine back to the barns for this beef show.
We are finishing up class number 5. On deck should be class 6, Poland, China.
Look at that one. He's like, I said plane.
Let's start off by giving our Duroc exhibitors a hand as we start this class. Got 3 nice gilts out here. This crew brought a high-quality set. Takes a little time to decide what you're going to do in this class. The decision's not on who wins. It's who's second and third. Young man brings us a nice gilt to lead this class off with, and she wins handily. This one's mobile and got look and balance and just has tremendous reach off that rear leg. She can really float and use that hock, that rear pastern really well. She's up fronted. Just a nice kind of female to start that class off with. Second and third gets a little tougher. We've got 2 gilts, I think, that are kind of opposite in terms of their type. We've got a more feminine gilt that maybe needs a shot of power, wants to get that rear leg just off a little bit, but has a high-quality underline. Young man over on the other side's got us a really burly one that's rugged and stout and got some bone, and that underline's an issue for that gilt, and she doesn't want to quite get out and go and move that hock right. So got some give and take. I prefer the young lady's gilt for second. That's a close decision. Those are nice gilts, but just got some little tweaks in there. I think she can go into the crate and do a better job with that femininity and that rear leg just being a little better, but that's a close decision. Young man, though, that's a nice gilt with a lot of bone. She's super stout and should still be proud of that kind of gilt. Let's give another hand as they're leaving the ring. Nice set of high-quality Durocs.
In our class number 5 of January purebred Duroc gilts, first blue was awarded to Nate Edwards. Second was awarded to Emily Zukowski. Now we'll have Emily change out from Duroc into Poland, China as we move into class number 6. Class number 7, Yorkshire on deck.
Again, watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show here at the Dunn County Fair on a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. Shout out to O'Galley this morning, the folks over at Bear Creek Farms. Hope morning chores went okay. Thanks for watching.
As we're waiting for Emily to come back with her Poland China, I'll tell you a little bit about that breed. In the early 1800s, Poland China hogs originated in Ohio. Today, Poland China hogs are known for their large frame, their length of body, their leanness and muscle, And they are also excellent feeders, gaining well under good care and management and quiet in their disposition.
I was like, yeah, this is Champion Drive. Okay. So we're still doing Champion Durocs here. Okay, all right. This is again doing Champion on the Durocs. And then we'll have our next class.
My apologies. Currently in the ring, our judge is selecting our Champion Duroc breeding gilt. Conclusion of all of our breeds of breeding gilts, we will name our Champion Purebred gilt. So the judge here needs to decide which Duroc from our 3 classes will come back in for naming of our overall breeding gilt champion.
I like that one. No. It's going like this.
Let's put our hands together again for our Duroc exhibitors. They brought really good stock out today. Sorry for taking a little longer. I may or may not do this again to you and make it take this long, but you never know when you get a couple of gilts that land on each other that may be your champion or reserve. You got to make sure you do it exactly the way you want them. And we've got 2 really high quality Duroc gilts out here. They're different. They're absolutely different in the way they're made. The young lady brings us one that is one of those barrel makers that's super stout and robust and big ribbed, and she just got balance and look like she can make barrows. That's the kind of barrel maker that we're all after, one that you just put her on about any kind of bore, makes a ton of barrows that are just sellable and usable. And where that one really excels, her front knee is just spot on for what the Duroc's got going on. Young man brings us one that's really good, and that's kind of a big show gilt that is more of a breeder type for me, that, you know, has got that look and balance and reach off that rear leg, and she's got the front knee kind of pasturing issue going on that the Durocs have got a lot of right now, and that's what makes it tough. I really like the rear leg and the reach this one's got, and just the mobility from behind that she's got, and that look and especially up front of us. But when you get in and study her, she's not as true at the ground up front. She's not quite as good in her flank, and that's where our little gilt excels. I think that little gilt's got to win this drive, but that's a super good pair and a high quality pair to mess with and start our day out with. They should both be congratulated because those are awesome gilts.
In our champion breeding Duroc gilt today is awarded to Miranda Creaser with her February gilt. Our reserve breeding Duroc gilt was awarded to Nate Edwards with his January gilt. Now entering the show ring will be class number 6, Emily with her Poland China.
Watching coverage of the 2024 Dunn County Fair Swine Show today. Thank you to Bluff Country Feed and Seed, your hometown feed and seed supplier, serving Mondovi, Durand, Oliva, Arcadia, and the surrounding area with nutrition consultation, feed and forage sampling, feed delivery, and seed needs. Visit bluffcountryfs.com.
Help me congratulate our lone Poland gilt exhibitor. Let's give her a nice hand for bringing out a good gilt. The Poland breed is, they're tough to make, and it's tough to make good ones. There's a few out there, and this one's very competitive. This one, we've got a couple in the barn this summer, and this one, she's fed right, she looks good, she's feminine, and she's one of the sounder ones I've seen this summer that's out. This is a high-quality one that is a nice exhibit for this lady. Let's give her another nice hand. This is a good one.
And that Poland China breeding gilt was exhibited by Emily Zukowski. We're now moving on to class number 7, our class of Yorkshire February purebred gilt, exhibited by Nate Edwards. On deck, class number 8. In the ring, class 7. On deck, class 8.
We've got another nice exhibit as we start off our Yorkshire division. Young man brings us one that's just kind of complete, moderate. She's got a bunch of power working down there, and for Yorkshire, she's a pretty burly one that gives us especially some rib shape like that about her. Nice kind of solid gilt to start off this Yorkshire division.
In that February purebred Yorkshire gilt class, first blue awarded to Nate Edwards. We're now moving on to our second of 2 classes for Yorkshires. Class 8 to the show ring for our January purebred Yorkshire gilt class. Class 8 to the show ring.
Watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show this morning. I'm Brian Winnikins from WRDN in Durand, and thank you for joining us. Thank you to O'Galley Cheese Factory for all of your snacking needs. Visit featuring cheese, locally made beef stick sausages. Don't forget about that ice cream and pizza and a whole lot more. That's at O'Galley Cheese Factory, Highway 25, Durand. Numbers are us, your daily money managers, 3rd Avenue West at Durand. And visit Rhonda online at numbersrus.com. You can find out how a daily money manager can help you and your family, or visit Rhonda on Facebook. Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, your Touchstone Energy partner, and 24/7 in West Wisconsin Telecom, building smart fiber optic communities from the ground up. Find out more, visit wwt.coop. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business, and please tell them thank you for supporting our video streams. Without the support of our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring you these video streams from the Dunn County Fair. So please thank them and let them know you appreciate the coverage from the fair.
Again, in the ring now is our second class of Yorkshire breeding gilts. The Yorkshire breed is the most recorded breed of swine in North America. As you can see, they are white with erect ears. And they're found in almost every state, with the highest known populations in the majority of the I states, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, but also Nebraska and Ohio. Yorkshires are known for their muscle, with a high proportion of lean meat and low back fat. Soundness and durability are also strengths. Again, this is our second class of Yorkshires. We'll name our champion Yorkshire breeding gilt. Then we will go into naming of our champion overall purebred gilt in today's Dunn County Swine Show.
Down to our last 3, it looks like. Okay, down to our last 2.
Once again, help me congratulate our young exhibitors on bringing out some quality stock. Really competitive class of Yorkshires, and if you could draw up a judging class of Yorkshire gilts, you'd have to go a long ways to find one that has as many differences and many things to look at. There's some decisions to be made here. We've got, I think, 2 gilts that surface for me. They're quite a bit different in terms of their kind, but the young lady on the far side for me is the one that needs to win this class. Just a gilt with more balance, more power, and more rib than we have in any of the other offering out here. You study her shape and the way her base width is. She's the truly powerful one. That's powerful about her head, has the right head shape to kind of match that body, and is one that can go to the crate and do a nice job for her. She's a little tender on her feet and not wanting to just get out and go, but that's a Yorkshire deal. There's not many of them that just get out and float. That's a high quality exhibit with bone that's complete and in a nice package. Young man makes it tough though with this gilt. This one is really unique in her shoulder, her front end, and the way that that tall fronted work into that shoulder. That's tough to make. First, the front 2/3 of this one's really exquisite and good and something to breed on. From there, she wants to kind of run out of power and get a little flatter when we get into that middle rib, and when she tracks away from you. Just need to open her up a little bit to get her into that first spot, but that's still a high quality one the young man should be proud of. Young lady's gilt that comes out a 3rd. This is another one of those tall fronted one. She's really up there and feminine, but need to open her up and make her a little more powerful to get into the first 2 spots. But that's still a nice kind of gilt. Gilt that comes out a 4th is in similar way, but this one doesn't want to handle her rear legs quite as good as that one in 3rd, and that's kind of why I got her into that last spot. But this is still a high quality exhibit that can go out and show in some other spots and do very well. Change those rear legs a little bit, and then you're kind of getting her up maybe even into 2nd in this tough class with a lot of competition. Put your hands together for them again. Nice set of Yorkshires.
In our January purebred Yorkshire gilt class, first place awarded to Miranda Creaser, second place to Brady Berg, third Brenna Berg, and fourth Nate Edwards. Now we'll have our February purebred Yorkshire gilt exhibited by Nate Edwards, and that winning January purebred gilt award, exhibited by Miranda Creaser for our overall Yorkshire breeding gilt champ.
Watching coverage of the 2024 Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show, Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio in Durand. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you to the Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board, sponsor of our streaming video service.
As we bring out our class winners of the Yorkshire Division, certainly have 2 nice gilts that quite a bit different in their type and kind. You look at the younger gilt, that's one that's more of a barrel maker look. She's stout and robust and kind of a more moderate package. She's not one that just gets out and floats either, both of our class winners, but as I said, that's a Yorkshire deal. It's tough to find those Yorkshires that'll just get out and cruise. She does a pretty good job of it. Wants to maybe roll that one rear hock a little more than ideal, but that's a nice kind of quality one that's powered up and got some rib, and got some usefulness about her. Young lady's gilt that comes out of this last cast is more of a feminine kind of bigger gilt that this is one that side view and look and balance is as good as they make in the Yorks. just a little tighter, gets a little agitated, wants to be a little tender. So this is a tough decision on these two. For me, the one that just a more of a complete package that just has more of her and more and less issues kind of going on. Young ladies gilt out of the big class wins your Yorkshire division. Nice pair of gilts, so give them a big hand.
The champion Yorkshire breeding gilt was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. Now we'll be moving on to our overall champion purebred breeding gilt. We will ask our champion Berkshire, exhibited by Emily Zukowski, our champion Duroc, exhibited by Miranda Creaser, our champion Poland China, exhibited by Emily Zukowski, and our champion Yorkshire, exhibited by Miranda Creaser, to the show ring for naming of our champion and reserve breeding gilt in today's Dunn County Swine Show.
So our championship drive going on in our breeding gilt class here.
Help me congratulate your division winners of your breeding gilt show. They brought out a really high quality set of females. I think all of the gilts out here are nice gilts and they're useful. There's one for me that separates, I think, pretty handily at trying to find somebody to push her. And I like the other gilts. The Poland gilt's solid. She's a nice gilt that's fresh and presented well, and for a Poland is fairly competitive and can get taken out and get shown in some spots and do a nice job. Burke gilt's a nice feminine gilt. Just add a shot of power and rear leg to her. She is very competitive. Front end is extremely good. Yorkshire is as balanced as any I've seen this summer. Just maybe struggles a little on those feet, but you get her and put her in Indy or in Illinois at a big show. Side view, look, she's as good as there is. You make her a shot more mobile. She's really tough, but the Duroc's the one that wins this drive. Just a complete one with a lot of stoutness and good about her. She's going to be your champion purebred breeding gilt.
Our champion purebred breeding gilt today at the Duroc was exhibited by Miranda Creaser.
Oh, we got to pick a reserve champion now.
As we bring our reserve Duroc out there and think back to when we had that class out and some of the comments of how you never know in the first couple of classes of the day, you got that tough decision, you got to think about the rest of the day. This is a high quality one that comes out and push that champion really hard, and I think she's a really good one too. Your reserve is going to be your reserve Duroc. Nice gilt.
Our reserve champion purebred breeding gilt was our reserve champion Duroc for today, exhibited by Nate Edwards. We'll now be moving into our crossbred breeding gilt classes. Class 9 to the show ring, our February crossbred breeding gilts. Class 9 to the show ring.
And our crossbreds coming in now to the show ring. Those of you watching on our Facebook Live feed, let us know in the comments where you're watching from today. Always curious to find out where folks are watching from. O'Galley's checked in Beaver Dam, Milwaukee this morning. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, just 3 in the show ring, Judge. This is our crossbred breeding gilt class, our February gilts. Class 10 on deck. Class 10 January crossbred gilts on deck.
As we keep working into our breeding gilt division, our February crosses, we've got some nice gilts that are well presented and well cared for. I think there's one that separates pretty easily. The young man with the black gilt over to my left is one that just gives us more added power and dimension and bone. And this one, by the shape of her head, she's one that can make some good solid pigs and got a reasonably good underline there, with a lot of bells and whistles to go along with it. Gets a little closer between second and third. The Tamworth Cross appearing gilt, or Duroc Cross gilt, and the all black gilt are 2 gilts that are going to get better with time. They're not there yet, but the gilt that I prefer is the Tamworth appearing gilt here. Just gives us a little more body, a little more depth and rib than our all black gilt. But tough decision between second and third. They could certainly be flipped. Let's give these young exhibitors a nice hand for bringing out a good set of breeding gilts.
In that February crossbred breeding gilt class, first place was awarded to Lucas Hausler, second to Alyssa Voigt, and third to Lucas Hausler. We're now entering the ring with Class 10, our January crossbred breeding gilts. Again, Class 10 to the show ring. There should be 7 hogs, 7 gilts in this class. Following Class 10, we will name our champion crossbred breeding gilt, then our overall grand champion breeding gilt for today.
Watching coverage of the 2027 Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show today. Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio. Thank you for joining us today. Those of you watching on our Facebook Live feed, let us know in the comment section where you're watching from. Always curious to find out where folks are watching from today. Durand checking in this morning, and welcome. Hope you're enjoying the show so far this morning on a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. here at the Dunn County Fairgrounds. We'll have the beef show later on this afternoon at 1 o'clock. As we narrow down this class,
Somebody lost their pig feet.
WRDN is the farm's radio station. We offer 7 hours of farm programming Monday through Friday. Kick it off with the WRDN Morning Farm Report from 5 to 7. Farm news, farm markets, interviews with newsmakers, along with some great classic country music too, from 5 to 7 a.m. Hourly markets at about 35 past the hour during the 9, 10, and 11 o'clock hour. Our noon farm report after our noon news as well. And then from 1 until 3, it's Chip Flory with Agri-Talk, news and issues affecting rural America and the farm markets as well. 3 to 4, Jesse Allen's in with America on Agriculture with news and issues from rural America. And during the 4 o'clock hour after our local news and sports update, Susan Littlefield in with the final bell, talking with market analysts from around the country about the news affecting the markets for the day. Listen to WRDN on 1430 AM and 107.3 FM and online at realcountry1430.com. You can listen through your Alexa or use the Live 365 or TuneIn apps. Download either one and just do a search for WRDN.
Got a very competitive crossbred gilt class as we get into the heat of our crosses, and it's a 2-horse race. The all-black gilt and the belted gilt, pretty obvious that these are the two that surface. They're nice kind of gilts, and they're quite a bit different in terms of their kind. The belted gilt's a stouter, more robust one that's kind of cracked open more, got more hip and more foot size without question. My question with her is does she have enough flank and just body depth to be a female that I can put in the crate? And she's a nice one. It's just, does she have enough flank? That's her one issue. The black gilt is one that's on the opposite side. She's super soft and functional and got that really soggy middle and that depth of flank that says she's going to be one in the crate that's just going to be a outstanding female, have a lot of pigs. But is there enough of her? When you get in and study her, she gets flatter in her shoulder. She's just not as powerful and robust. So you got some power and kind of a little more functional package, and you got the show gilt with all the feature and the extra stuff that may not be that one that has a bunch of pigs that lay down and does it. The higher value one, though, I think you get in and just study it, is the belted gilt needs to win this class, but that's a close decision. Two high quality gilts, and I think you could flip them around either way. Congratulations to those two. Then we've got a couple of gilts that come out. A young man brings us a nice gilt, and this one gives up a little size. This is one that's stout, and she's got some bone, and is a nice kind of female. For me, a little more of a market gilt, one that's got some power, and especially you get behind her is super thick. I'd like to change those rear legs on her and make her a little sounder to get into that top pair. Young man comes out with one on a third that's very similar. This is a stout gilt that's a little more compact, got some power, maybe not as much as have all those breeding pieces, and got that function for the crate as the top couple. Nice kind of gilt though that comes out of 4. Young man brings us one out of 5th. This is maybe the most mobile gilt we've had at the day. She'll get out and cruise. She's super flexible and super sound. Got some body, got some size. Just want to change her a little bit in terms of the way she has her power and the way she sets that one rear leg down. But that's a nice kind of female too that's kind of bulletproof in the crate. Needs a little more feature. Round our class out with a couple of smaller gilts that just need to be a little more mobile on those rear legs to get them up higher, but they're still nice gilts for both of those exhibitors. Give those exhibitors a nice hand in our crossbred division.
In that January crossbred breeding gilt class, first place was exhibited by Miranda Creaser, second place by Brady Berg, third Owen Howe, and fourth Hunter Roberts. We'll now be having the champion crossbred gilt, so our winning February breeding gilt and our February breeding gilt exhibited by Lucas Hausler, and our January gilt exhibited by Miranda Creaser to the show ring. Please have our second place in our 2 crossbred classes on deck for naming of reserve champion.
Put your hands together for your champion class winners in the crossbred gilt division. I think 2 nice gilts that are very somewhat functional in terms of their kind. There may be a little more bells and whistles on one of them. The other one just a shot more functional, but those are both really nice gilts that have some future about them. For me, the belted gilt in front of me wins your crossbred drive. Just a big stout gilt with some feature and bone. Congratulations.
Champion crossbred gilt is exhibited by Miranda Creaser. We would ask our reserve champ crossbred gilt back to the show ring.
That wasn't it. No. Go take that back. Delilah, no, he hasn't announced it yet. Go get it. Here comes Brady.
Again, now we're going to have our reserve champion crossbred gilt. This is our Brady Berg with our January gilt, and then Lucas Hausler, from our February breeding gilt class.
Watching continuing coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show today. Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio Duran on a beautiful Friday morning here in Menominee at the Dunn County Fair. Come on out and join us if you're in the nearby area today. We'll have our beef show as well this afternoon starting at about 1 o'clock.
As we bring our second out of that last class in for the crossbred drive, gets it close. These are 2 nice black gilts that have some differences about them. This gilt over here that's wanting to get back to the barn's a nice kind of gilt with some bone and some heaviness of structure. Her rear leg is not quite perfect there. Like to make her a little mobile there, but that's being a fine point there. This is a nice kind of gilt with some feature and some look. our big black gilt out of that last class. It comes in second. It's one that I talked about. Her look is incredible. She's really good in her flank. Just needs to have a little more of that stoutness, a feature that our little one has. But when you get in study and think about functional and how sound she is, she needs to be a reserve. The big gilt, second out of that last class, is going to be a reserve crossbred. Congratulations.
Our reserve champion crossbred gilt was exhibited by Brady Berg. We will now be naming our overall grand champion breeding gilt from today's class. So we would have our champion purebred Duroc, exhibited by Miranda Creaser to the show ring, and our champion crossbred breeding gilt, also exhibited by Miranda Creaser to the show ring. Our reserve champions should be on deck.
Thank you to Provisions Health, 3rd Avenue West Duranda, changing the way you experience healthcare. Find out more at provisions.health. Chippewa Valley Energy, serving the Chippewa Valley since 1922. Find out more at chippewavalley.energy.com. And Wisconsin Credit Union, serving members for over 80 years. We belong to you. Visit wisconsincu.org. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make our broadcasts possible, our video streams possible here from the Dunn County Fair. So please give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business, tell them thank you for supporting these video streams. Without their help, we wouldn't be here today. Also, let the Dunn County Fair Board know as well that you appreciate our video streams of our shows. They've been helping us out all week.
Once again, let's put our hands together for our overall champions, really high quality stock. I think you've heard me talk about these little, they're nice gilts throughout here. There's just one that just has more of it, a high value one that's functional, got some look and balance, and one that can make some pigs that have some tremendous value. Young lady with your Duroc is going to be your champion overall gilt.
Our grand champion breeding gilt today was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. We'll now ask our reserve champion purebred gilt, our Duroc, exhibited by Nate Edwards, to the show ring for our reserve grand champion breeding gilt.
As we bring back that reserve pure, the Duroc, they've come together all through that class and talked about that early in the show, how good they were, how different, but how good they were. She is the second, or to me, high value one of this show. She's going to be a reserve. Nice gilt for reserve.
Our reserve grand champion breeding gilt was exhibited by Nate Edwards. That concludes our breeding gilt classes for today. Let's move on to our market hog classes. Our purebred market gilt classes. We'll start out with class 11, our purebred market gilt Berkshires. Should have 5 gilts to the show ring for our Berkshire market class. Again, class 11 to the show ring, class 12, Duroc on deck.
I'll steal the command. You.
Watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show, Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio in Durant. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors as well. Our streaming video service sponsor is the Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board. Dunn County Fair sponsors include Alcivia Co-op, a leading member-owned agriculture and fuel cooperative serving Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. Visit alcivia.com. SFB Security Financial Bank, Durand River Falls, Eau Claire, Ladysmith, Bloomer, and Black River Falls. Where electronic banking is easy, visit sfbank.com. And Bauer Seeds and Service, your local Pioneer Seed and Pivot Bio dealer serving the Durand area. Visit BauerSeedsandService.com for more information. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business, tell them thank you for supporting our video streams. Without their help, we wouldn't be here today. So please thank all of our sponsors and also the Dunn County Fair Board as well. They've been helping us out throughout the week so far, getting us tables, chairs, places to set up. So please thank the folks from the Dunn County Fair Board as they help us out with our video streams.
In our Berkshire Market Gilt Division, have a nice competitive class. Put your hands together for them. Got some nice young exhibitors out here that did a nice job taking care of these Berks. They're tough to make and they're tough to get trained and shown. And there's been a lot of work behind the scenes, I'm sure, to get them to this point. So congratulations to all these young exhibitors. But there's one gilt out here that separates pretty easily. This young lady coming towards me has got a really nice gilt that is sound and functional and balances up the best of our class and is handily a winner in this one, just in sheer complete package and in a balanced up one to go along with that. That's a really nice Berkshire gilt. Taking nothing away from this young lady that brings the one out of second. This one is a long, robust one that's tremendously wide when you get in behind her. This gilt would look way better in about 30 days. She'd just kind of coming, and she'd give a push to make that top pair a little tougher, but that's still a high-quality one that has a high cutability hog that's still functional, gets out there and can really motor, and give it another 50, 60 pounds is really a good one. We got a nice gilt coming out of third, too. This is a super stout headed gilt that's tremendous in her bone work, and she just rugged and powerful, but one that doesn't want to balance up and use that rear leg right to kind of get into that competitive top pair. But that's... Bring her up. You study the shape and the bone work and the way that head lays in. This is a powerful gilt, and she's got a ton of back shape. It's just when you get into that loin and into her hip that she runs out of gas and can't compete with those top two. young man brings us another nice one. This is a gilt that's lean and been well taken care of, fresh, really fresh and muscular kind of gilt. She's just not wide enough at the ground and up top to compete in the top end of that deal, as well as the gilt that comes out of fifth. Same situation, well presented gilt. This one's super mobile, just needs to be wider, especially behind as she tracks away from you to get up towards the top of the class. Congratulate those kids, though. Nice class of Berkshire market gilts.
In that purebred market gilt Berkshire class, first place was exhibited by Lydia Brenner, second place by Aubrey McClelland, and third place by Mackenzie McClelland. Now entering the ring will be our purebred market Duroc gilts, class 12. Class 13 on deck, Yorkshire, followed by our class of Chester White. So Yorkshire and Chester White market gilts on deck.
Nope, I got one that's, one of the Durex is like, I want to be out here, and I'm going to show off. That second Durex just like, come on, let's go, let's play. Let's roughhouse. A lot of energy this morning. We have one more to come out for this class. We'll have our beef show later this afternoon as well. 1 o'clock is our scheduled start time. Boy, he's got a motor. She's got a motor there. Look at him go. We'll have our beef show at about 1 o'clock again. It'll be following our swine show here. That one Duroc should be in the pig race too.
Let's put our hands together for our Duroc market gilt exhibitors. Once again, your families in the county bought you some good stock out that are well presented and well fed. All three of these gilts, you can't feed them much better than this, and they're highly presented. Once again, I'll talk about this. Takes a lot of time behind the scenes to get these ready, skin and hair, make them look this good, and get them trained to walk and kind of get out in the ring and do this. This is a nice set, and it's a 2-horse race on this one, kind of like our breeding division between the two gilts out towards the center. For me, the dark gilt wins this kind of handily. She's complete and balanced and gives us some power. It kind of gets out and gives us some back shape and has that added advantage in that rump structure where it comes out of her pin set with just a little more power and in a little higher manner. Taking nothing away, this is another nice gilt in second, one that gives you a lot of dimension down low, especially when she's going away from you. She's just a little rounder in terms of her kind, but this one reminds me of that reserve purebred, same kind of package, little more flank, and maybe a little more dimension behind. So those are two high-quality ones that can be flipped around depending on your judge. Young man kind of runs into a buzzsaw. This is a nice gilt too. She's got some bone and she's got some dimension, and that front third of her is really good. She's got some rib and dimension. She just doesn't want to have as much width as those top two right up in her hip and down low going away from you, but that's still a good kind of gilt. Once again, let's give those three a nice hand with your Durocs.
In that purebred market gilt Duroc class, first place was exhibited by Emily Zukowski, second place by Nate Edwards, and third by Garrett Biesterveld. We'll now have class 13 to the show ring, our purebred market Yorkshire gilt, followed by our Chester White on deck. Our Chester White market gilt on deck, class 13B.
Watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show this morning. I'm Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio. Thank you to our Dunn County Fair sponsors, including Sundstrom and Company, your local tax experts in Durand. Give them a call as we get ready for end-of-year tax planning. Call 715-672-4425 to schedule that appointment, or you can also visit them online. NTech, your premier communications and entertainment provider, Durand, and Dunn Energy, your touchstone energy partner. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business, and tell them thank you for supporting our video streams from the Dunn County Fair. Without the support of these businesses, we wouldn't be here today. So please thank our sponsors.
Just have a loan entry in our Yorkshire market gilts, but a good one. This is a really stout gilt that's complete and balances up from the side really well. Let's give this young man a nice hand until he brings her back out in the champion drive.
Our champion purebred market gilt Yorkshire is exhibited by Nate Edwards. Now in the ring is our loan entry for our Chester White purebred market gilt class. Following this, we will name our champion purebred market gilt. So if we could have our champion market Berkshire, our champion market Duroc, York back to the show ring following this class.
Once again, we have a loan entry for our Chesters, but the young man brings us a nice Chester gilt that's functional, got some power working down her top, fairly flexible in her feet and legs, just a nice kind of gilt to represent that breed. Let's give him a nice hand. He brought you a good gilt out in the crossbred division.
In that Chester White purebred market gilt class was exhibited by Cashton Steinmeier. We'll now be naming our champion purebred market gilt. Our first place Berkshire was exhibited by Lydia Brenner. Our first place Duroc was exhibited by Emily Zukowski. Our first place Yorkshire exhibited by Nate Edwards. And our first place Chester White exhibited by Cashton Steinmeier. Our second place Berkshire and second place Duroc should be on deck for reserve champion.
Your exhibitors brought out a nice set of market gilts. Let's give them a big hand. The purebreds are really good. I think this is a nice set that represents their breed pretty well. I'll talk about them a little bit because when you have loan entries, it's tough to compare them. But our Chester gilt, nice sound one that balances up good, got some top shape. When you get her out in a drive, is she stout enough to compete with the top couple out here? If she is on top of her, but you get her going away, then you need to open her up just a little bit, but that's tough. The Chesters are not made that way all the time and are really stout. So she's still a good kind of exhibit for the Chester to bring out in the Chester breed. Young lady with a Berkshire over there, that's a nice kind of gilt too. She's stout, and I think with time this one gets better because she's fresh and lean and got some look and upfront and athletic. She maybe doesn't want to balance up as good as a couple of them out here, but that's still a nice high quality exhibit that has some muscle and is super good for a breed. It boils us down to the York and the Duroc for the champion, and this is a nice pair, and they're kind of similar. These are balanced up gilts that are mobile, have some power, are well fed, well presented, are right on in terms of condition for being market gilts. They're not over conditioned, and they can get out and move, both of them. That's a high quality pair. For me, there's one that's a little sounder. When she's going away from you, she's just a tick more mobile, better on her rear leg, and there's more of her. That Yorkshire is going to be your champion market gilt. Nice kind of gilt to win this drive. And as we didn't have a reserve York out of that division, that Duroc gilt is awful nice. She's going to be your reserve, a nice high quality gilt to come into this division. Let's give both those young people a nice hand.
Our champion purebred market gilt was exhibited by Nate Edwards. Our reserve champion, the Duroc purebred market gilt, was exhibited by Emily Zukowski. We'll now be moving into Class 14, our first class of crossbred market gilts. Class 14 to the show ring. These are our market gilts weighing 225 to 244 pounds. Again, Class 14 to the show ring.
Milk markets are higher, reporting from the Dunn County Fair on Brian.
And we again thank all of our volunteers today. We have some of our seniors who graduated last year. So last year's senior swine exhibitors that are helping on the show ring today. We'll have 7 market gilts in this first class. 7.
17 to 2045. Meanwhile, at the Mercantile Exchange in the livestock sector, live cattle markets are moving mostly lower on some technical selling, but feeder cattle moving higher. We've seen some strength in some of the cash markets, and that has helped to support some of the feeder cattle markets today. Hog markets continue to move mostly higher as well. Again, pork cutout values moving higher at least early on, and that's helping to support prices. August live cattle down 27 cents to 188.62. August feeder cattle up $1.10 to 259.72. August hogs now up 2 cents to 93.80. At the Chicago Board of Trade, corn, soybeans, and wheat all moving mostly lower. Soybeans really leading the entire complex lower with double-digit losses. The trade's still trying to figure out how hot and dry the weather really will be in the forecast, as some rain's been now added back into the forecast, and that is helping to pressure the soybeans.
Again, currently in the show ring is Class 14, our lightweight crossbred market gilts. Class 15 should be on deck. Class 15 on deck.
Chicago down 1.5 to 5.33 1/4 from the Dunn County Fair. I'm Brian Winnikin.
Again, we're on our market gilt classes. These are our crossbreds today. And as the judge has been talking about this morning, we started with our breeding classes and now are moving into our market. And you know, our market hog's function usually is to grow quickly and efficiently and to produce a lean, muscular carcass versus our breeding gilts that we started with. Their function is to stay structurally sound, grow and produce large litters of pigs that will be lean and heavy muscled. So that's kind of the difference between our breeding versus our market classes that we have now. Of course, our market sale will be Saturday evening, 5 p.m. here under the oak trees with our nice weather. We encourage you all to come out, bid, and buy one of these wonderful 4-H or FFA or association pigs that are being exhibited by our members this morning.
Once again, help me congratulate your exhibitors. They brought out a really nice set of market gilts. There's a gilt that's really good in this class that came out of the chute and went, whoa, we got something going on now. But she is really high quality, really special one that's going to get nothing but better. And it's the one-eared gilt here, the cauliflower. She is really a good one. You get in and study this one. She doesn't want to get out and just kind of drive perfect, but her rear leg is exceptional. She is made right. Her hip is big. She just got tremendous looking balance, and one that even 40, 50 pounds later, she's going to get better. She's a good looking one to go along with that. Now that we're talking about a really good one, but we got another really good one in this class too. Young man's got a chromed up one across the way, and I would guess he said he'd come in here and never get beat in this class because this is a high quality one too. Super burly, big ribbed, got tremendous amount of hip going away from you, and she's mobile enough. Her feet are just huge for that one, but the difference is she is not as exquisite in her hip set. She's not quite as tall fronted, but that is another high quality one that can stand some competition. Two really good gilts. Young lady brings us one out of third, and this belted gilt is one that of what we've got left in this class, this is the heavy muscled lean one that can get out and motor. This gilt likes to go and can use her feet and legs well. Get behind her, she's tremendously shapely, got a bunch of muscle and well presented and well fed, fits nicely into third. This gilt comes close. This gilt, when you get in and study her from behind, she's really good. She's got that tremendously big hip and top working in her. You get in front of her, she wants to flatten up and not get as robust. And I don't think she's as busted open as true in power as those three ahead of her, but still a nice kind of gilt. Sit in fourth place in this tough class. Young lady brings us a brown belted gilt that comes out of fifth, and this one's lean and shapely and got some top shape. Doesn't want to get out and move quite as well or have as much power off of both ends as we started this class off with. And we end our class off with a couple of gilts that have some mobility issues, just don't want to quite get out there and go, and don't have that cutability factor and have that lean, shapely carcass to kind of get up into the top class, but well-presented pigs that were well taken care of. Give them another nice hand as they've left the ring.
In our first crossbred market gilt class, our first gilt was exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier. second by Nate Edwards, third Elizabeth Weinzerl, and fourth by Brady Berg. We're now entering Class 15, our crossbred market gilts, weighing 248 to 259 pounds. Again, Class 15, crossbred market gilts to the show ring.
You're watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show. Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio in Durand, and thank you for joining us on a beautiful Friday afternoon as we continue to go through some of our market gilts. These are crossbred market gilts. Later this afternoon, we will have continuing coverage as well from the fair, as we'll have the beef show starting at 1 o'clock. And tomorrow evening, we'll have the junior livestock auction as well. Absolutely beautiful day today here in Menominee. If you're in the local area, come on out and join us at the fair. A beautiful, beautiful day. Couldn't ask for a better morning for today's swine show. So we narrow down our class. And those of you watching on our Facebook Live feed at our Facebook page at WRDN 1430 AM stereo and 107.3 FM. Let us know in the comments section where you're watching from this morning. I'm always curious to find out where folks are watching from. Beaver Dam, and Galley, Durand, Milwaukee all checking in this morning. Down to our last three.
Help me congratulate your second class of crossbred. Your exhibitors brought out a really good set. Let's put our hands together for them. There's two gilts that are super high quality in here that separate, and these are really nice kind of gilts that give you tremendous power, lots of thickness, made right, just high quality market gilts. And there's some differences in them, but there's one thing that's similar. They're super stout, both of them. So muscle and power is not an issue with either of these. These are the two highest cutability, widest made, just sheer market gilts in this deal. And then it depends on what kind of flavor do you want. You've got one that's got a little more balance and structural integrity. And then got one that's just got tremendous power. That's maybe as big a hip, just true hip shape, loin edge hip shape as anything I've seen this summer. She is that kind of stout. But along with that, she doesn't use that hind leg quite as well and doesn't balance quite as good either. And she's kind of getting active here at the end, but that's a good gilt. And it's not saying that she is not a sound one. That one is sound enough and was when she got in here. She's getting a little stressy right now, but that's a good kind of gilt that pushes this. I think the belted one's just a more complete package today. Just gives us a little more look, balance, and it factor than that white one, but that's taking nothing away. That young man's got a tremendously good gilt that comes into second. Then in third and fourth, I thought the third and fourth place ones were fairly close. This young man brings us one that is one that gives us cutability, and this is just a nice functional market gilt with a lot of power, heavy boned, heavy structured, just not as complete a package structurally and balance-wise, but that's a nice kind of high-quality gilt. Young man that came out of fourth had another good one. That one is just right in there in terms of power and muscle with our one and third. Maybe not quite as mobile off of those rear feet. This young lady brings us another good one. This is a highly presented one that's fresh, just runs out of gas in terms of structure and width to compete in that top end, as well as we round our class off with a couple of gilts that are well taken care of, well presented, just don't have enough muscle to compete up at the top. Once again, give those young exhibitors a nice hand. They brought another high-quality set of pigs.
In Class 15, our crossbred market gilt, first place was exhibited by Miranda Creaser, second by Braden Wolf, third by Caleb Biesterveld, and fourth by Edward Weinzerl. We'll now be moving on to Class 16, our crossbred market gilts, weighing 260 to 272 pounds. Again, Class 16 to the show ring.
Thank you to our Dunn County Fair sponsors today, including Sunny Sky CBD of Durand, featuring CBD products for you and your family, even your pets too. Sunny Skies also provides shipping too. You can visit sunnyskycbd.com for more information or visit them in downtown Durand. Synergy Co-op, your local LS&T YM tractor dealer. Visit synergycoop.com for more information. Compeer Financial, a member-owned farm credit cooperative serving and supporting agriculture and rural communities. Visit Compeer.com for more information. And Bluff Country Feed and Seed, your hometown feed and seed supplier, serving Mondovi, Durand, Oliva, Arcadia, and the surrounding area with nutrition consultation, feed and forage sampling, feed delivery, and seed needs. Visit BluffCountryFS.com. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make our video streams from the Dunn County Fair possible. Give our sponsors a call, drop them an email, visit their business as well, and tell them thank you for supporting our video streams today. Again, without their help, we wouldn't be here today.
Again, in the show ring, we have Class 16. These are our market gilts weighing 260 to 272 pounds. We have one more class of crossbred market gilts. Our Class 17 should be on deck. Then we'll name our champion crossbred market gilt of today's Dunn County Swine Show. Again, Class 17 on deck.
The Wisconsin Pork Association giving us a little bit of pork trivia as well this morning. Did you know there are about 360,000 head of pigs in Wisconsin? That as of December 2023. And as of 2022, there are about 2,025 hog farms here in Wisconsin. Some fun facts from the Wisconsin Pork Association.
I'll just take a minute while our judge is making his decision to thank Brian Winnikins and WRDN for broadcasting of today and multiple livestock shows here at the Dunn County Fair. So should you have family or friends who are not able to join us under the oak trees today, and even for our auction, please go to WRDN, their Facebook page or YouTube, and you can feel free to watch the live stream. So let's give a round of applause to Brian and for broadcasting today.
Well, thank you, Katie.
As we get into our heavier classes of market gilts, got another competitive class and two gilts that surfaced, the all-white gilt and the kind of chromed up white hairy gilt in front of me. And these are two pretty good gilts. They're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Talk about the white gilt first. It's one that almost more of a breeding gilt. This is a good-looking one that has some balance and look. And for a market gilt, got to ask, does she have enough power? And it's questionable. But certainly like her flexibility, her ease of movement, she can get out and roll, and has a pretty good look from the side. Our kind of chromed up, more moderate gilt is one that, no question, is the power gilt in the class. This one is super wide and rugged and got a lot of thickness about her. She's a little on the other end of the spectrum for me. I'd like to get her neck with some extension and change those. She handles her rear legs really well for how wide she is, but wants to struggle and labor a little bit there. So got opposite ends of the spectrum. For me, the more market gilt is the hairy kind of chromed up one in the middle. She'll win this pair in this class. Get into third. I think our young man, he's got a nice gilt that comes out of third, and this one is certainly a high cut ability pig with a lot of good about her. She can move pretty decent. Does she have as much power as the two in front of her? Not quite, and not quite as much look and balance, but that's a high quality female. That's a good kind of solid market gilt to get out and push that top pair. Congratulations to him. As we work our way down the line in this class, we got a nice set of gilts that got some cutability. They've got some power, but not enough to get up into the top end of that. Well-presented, well-fed pigs, like the kind of spotted up one out here. That one's fed about as good as you can get. She's right on a condition, just not enough width up front to match that power that she's got going away from you, but she's a high-quality one that's well-presented. Young man brings another nice one. This is a really robust-headed one that has some power about her head. She wants to get flatter, doesn't open up quite as good as the ones in front of her. Nice set, though, working down. Red cross gilt is another well-fed one. Lean, highly presented one, well taken care of, needs a shot more muscle to get to the top. Round our class off with, and these could kind of be flipped around a little bit, but nice kind of gilt, long-bodied, well-fed, just needs a shot more muscle to compete. Put your hands together again. Your exhibitors are bringing out really good stock.
In our Class 16, our first place was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. Our second place was exhibited by Brenna Berg. Third, Luke Pemper. And fourth to Alyssa Voigt. Well, now entering our final class of crossbred market gilts, class 17 to the show ring. These gilts weighed 273 to a whopping 306 pounds. So 306, I think, are maybe our heaviest today. We'll find out.
All right, starting to narrow down the class. From the Wisconsin Pork Association, about 28% of Wisconsin hogs are on farms with less than 2,000 head in inventory. 14% of the inventory is on farms with 2,000 to 4,999 head, and 58% are on farms with 5,000 or more hogs. And hogs marketed in Wisconsin in 2023, the value was $178.57 million. That's a lot of bacon. Thank you to the Wisconsin Pork Association for some of our fun hog trivia for Wisconsin.
Again, we are on class 17, our final class of crossbred market gilts. We'll then move into naming of our champion crossbred market gilts. We would ask our first and second place blues from our 3 previous classes to be on deck for coming in for naming of champion and reserve crossbred market gilt.
Down to our final 3 in this class.
The audience can't hear, but Brian over there is giving away trivia facts. Too bad I should give him the microphone. But as Nate's gilt was just squealing a minute, The pig squeal reaches 110 to 115 decibels, the same as the sound of a Concorde jet. So thanks, Nate, for your gilt today.
Down to our final three, and this is a tough decision for our judge. It's now getting down to nitpicky stuff, I'm thinking, to try to separate, because you can't have a tie, obviously.
Let's put our hands together for our crossbred gilt exhibitors. They brought out a really... Our heavyweight class is the top end of this. These three is the most competition we've had. We've had 3 in one class that come out that are all good. They're all different and present some problems. I'm going to talk about these three. They've got some little differences. This gilt here I really like. She's super about her front end and neck, and she's got great shoulder. Blends into her shoulder, into her forerib really well. I think this gilt, no doubt about it, she's either coming into heat or coming out. I think that's a high quality one that, 30 days ago she was probably a little better. When I get in and study her, I don't know if she's not as stout as the two above her, and does she have just enough hip and rear leg to really compete with these three. But she is awfully good. She is the one from the side. There's, without question, the high quality one from the side view. Just going away, she runs out of a little gas. The gilt in the middle is one, the kind of moderate hairy gilt is the power gilt of the class. Her head reads power. She's got all that muscle working in her. She's the third in terms of structure. She gets a little tight up in her spine, just wants to labor off that rear leg a little bit, but undoubtedly is the power gilt of this drive. I'd like to lengthen her out a little bit, and I think this one probably looked quite a bit better 30, 40 days ago. But that's being picky. This is a high-quality one that's been very well presented and taken care of. Then we've got the gilt that's riding the rail over here, and when you get in and study her, she's one that you get her out in motion. She is probably second in terms of just sheer muscle. She is tremendously stout. She's maybe not as hairy and cool to look at, but you get in and study her from behind, and when she's coming at you, she's true in her base width. She is super powerful, and when she gets on side view, she's the most mobile one and is the best made one. She needs to win the class. This is going to be her class winner, and she's awful good. Second, third is tough for me. I think you could flip them a little bit, but I like the hairy little gilt. I think this one, just a little over 12 o'clock, but she is awfully good in her own right, and sure admire the amount of power that she's got. She's a high-quality one. Needs to go second in this tough class. Young lady's got another nice one that we just talked about. She's going to go third. As we work our way down this class, we've got good gilts in here all the way through. The belted gilt that comes out, she's one that just carrying a little too much condition to play in that top and doesn't have enough power. And the other three gilts, they're all sound ones. They've all got just enough muscle, but they don't have as much of it or as much it factor as those top three. You can be congratulated on all those kids. They took good care of them, fed them well, and highly presented hogs. Once again, give those kids a hand. They brought out a really high-quality set of stock.
In that heavyweight crossbred market gilt class, first place was exhibited by Brenna Berg, second by Nate Edwards, and third by Chloe Doomer. We'll now be asking our first place crossbred market gilts back to the show ring for naming of our champion crossbred market gilt. Second place from our 4 classes, please be on deck for naming of reserve champion.
Watching coverage of the 2024 Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show. Brian Winnikins with you from WRDN Radio in Durand. Thank you to O'Galley Cheese Factory, some of our Dunn County Fair sponsors. For all of your snacking needs, O'Galley Cheese has cheese, locally made beef sticks, sausage, ice cream, and a pizza too. They're open 7 days a week, Highway 25, Durand. Numbers are us, your daily money managers, 3rd Avenue West, Durand. Visit Rhonda online at numbersrs.com. You can learn about what a daily money manager does and how they can help you and your family, or visit Rhonda on Facebook. Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, your Touchstone Energy partner, and 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom, building smart fiber optic communities from the ground up. Find out more, visit wwt.coop. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make our video streams possible. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business. Tell them thank you for supporting these video streams. Again, without their help, we wouldn't be here today. So please let them know you appreciate their support of these video streams, and also let the Dunn County Fair Board know as well. You appreciate these video streams.
Again, on our champion crossbred market gilt class, we have from our lightweight class our Samuel Steinmeier with a gilt wing 227. In our second class, we had Miranda Creaser with the gilt wing 259. Our third class was also Miranda Creaser with the gilt wing 269. In our heavyweight class was exhibited by Brenna Berg with the gilt wing 285 pounds. Again, second place from those 4 classes. Please be on deck for naming of reserve champion.
Hey, help me congratulate your class winners of your Market Guild show. Tell you what, take my hat off for those behind the scenes. This is a really high quality set of Market Guilds you can take and put some miles on and not see this all the time. To have 4 class winners, they're all different. Admittedly, we didn't have the same kind of pig in every class. These are high quality ones that are highly presented, different in terms of their type, but there's some outliers out here that can go out and do some damage somewhere other than just a county fair, that are really unique, have some really unique pieces, and are extraordinary in their own right. I'm going to talk about these 4 just a little bit because I think it's worthy. These are good pigs. We come out of the lightweight class. We've got that little crinkle chromed up one over by the fence, and that one is really high quality. She's not there yet, weighing 220 something, but that is a unique beast that is going to get nothing but better. I would love to take her home and have her in a month and get her ready because she is really special. Her jaw and head and neck are exquisite. She is beautiful from the side, big feet, and tremendous amount of power. That's in a balanced package. She doesn't want to get out and motor. She's not quite trained yet, but that is a really high-quality one. The crinkle ear doesn't bother me a bit. It gets some off, but she's really good. The one that comes out of, I believe, the second class is it's just a nice balanced one that's got some rib and got some power, well presented. Skin and hair is impeccable on this one. For me, her issue is she's short hipped. So we lengthen that hip out just a little bit. Her front end is good. She's great coming at you. Jawline is good. She gets a little short necked, little short hip, and wants to roll that right hock just a tick. But that's being minor on a really good one. That's a high quality gilt. The gilt that comes out of the next class is one that's the power gilt of the class. And what doesn't match on her is her head doesn't match her body. She's super wide. She tracks wide. She's got all that power. But her head gets a little frail. Neck gets a little short. That's being critical, though, because that is a super powerful one that's well presented. And skin and hair is impeccable on that one, too. Then we've got the gilt, the heavyweight over there that's fighting. So she's fighting the gate and doesn't want to show off at all and needs a little attitude adjustment, but that one is extremely good. So that is a big gilt that is of high quality, is awesome on her feet and legs, is one that skin and hair is not as good. So she is not as impressive to look at when you just study from her distance, but when you get right up on top of her, her feet are extremely good. Her balance is awesome, and when she gets out and does decide to motor a little bit and not fight, she is one that balance-wise, if I'm going out to a big show, she's one I'm thinking I'm going to win the whole thing. So she's right in there, in the thick of it. When you study pound for pound, which one has the it factor, the good, maybe not as highly presented, wants to fight it, but the one that is the beast that can go out and do some damage, that big gilt out of Class 4 is the highest quality market gilt in this set that needs to win today. Congratulations, young lady.
Our champion crossbred market gilt is exhibited by Brenna Berg. A second place from that class, we'd have Nate Edwards come back to the show ring. Nate Edwards with your heavyweight crossbred market gilt back to the show ring for naming of our reserve champion crossbred market gilt.
As we bring our second placer out of that class, I talked about her, a stout, kind of moderate one that gives you a bunch of punch. Maybe need to, more similar in design and look than what we've got in our Class 3 winner. Nice kind of moderate stout gilts. For me, there's two of them that it's down to for reserve. It's between the lightweighter that's extremely good and exquisite and out there, and the gilt that's more market ready today that is super powerful and complete. Just like to lengthen that hip out and rear leg just a notch. She needs to be reserved today. Nice job.
Our reserve champion crossbred market gilt was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. And that concludes our crossbred market gilt classes. We'll now be moving into our market barrow classes. So Class 18, our Berkshire purebred market barrow to the show ring. Class 18, Berkshire purebred market barrow to the show ring.
As we continue on with the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show, Brian Winnikins with you from WRDN Radio. Class number 18 now. This afternoon we'll have the beef show starting at about 1 o'clock.
Again, we have two Berkshires in this class of our purebred market barrows, so we would ask our Chester Whites, Class 19, to be on deck.
Waiting for our other competitor in this class now into the show ring. We're ready to go.
In our Berkshire Barrow division, have two nice barrows, a little different in terms of their type and kind and where they're at maturity-wise. A young lady brings us a show barrow that's complete and got some hair and skin, but especially he's the one that's got the back shape and power to win this class. You get up and right on top of him, groove down his back, lots of power, still gets out and move. Nice combination barrel that's complete in his makeup. Young man brings us one, though. This is a nice kind of Burke barrel with some length and some design and some thickness. He may be not as show type of pig, but and I can handle that. I'd like to see him just a notch wider and track wider at the ground for me to get him into that first spot. But that's a good kind of barrel for second. Congratulate them both on a good pair of hogs.
In that Berkshire Purebred Market Barrel class, first place was exhibited by Emily Zukowski, second by Rylan Homestead. We'll now be moving into our Chester White Market Barrel class. These two hogs weigh 266 and 290. Again, we're on class 19. Chester Whites, we'll have class 20, our Purebred Market Barrel Durocs on deck.
Well, from the Wisconsin Pork Association, a little more trivia for you this morning. Did you know exports are an important component of overall pork demand? In 2023, the United States was the third largest pork producer and second largest exporting nation, accounting for about 31% of global pork exports. Wow. And a recent report from USDA's Economic Research Service showed family farms accounted for 90% of the value of hog production in 2022. And again, thank you to Wisconsin Pork Association for providing some hog trivia this morning.
Once again, your exhibitors brought out some quality stock, and we have two really nice Chester barrels. They're a little different spot in their maturity. I think the lighter weight barrel here is just a nice, complete one to start with. He's lean, he's shapely, still in optimal condition at about 12 o'clock. Plus, he's sound and balanced and gives us plenty of power for a Chester. A nice kind of pig. Young man's got one in second, though. This is a nice kind of Chester barrel. He's a little over 12 o'clock, getting out there a little bit in condition, but for one of that size and that weight, this one is super mobile, still got some power, and she should be commended on a good pig that is well fed and just a hair past 12 o'clock for him, but that's a nice kind of barrel in the Chester breed. Let's give them both a nice hand. Those are two high-quality Chesters.
Our first place, Chester White, was exhibited by Cashton Steinmeier. Second place by Steele Schaefer. We're now moving into class 20, our Duroc Purebred Market Barrel class. This is our first of two Duroc Market Barrels. So class 20, our Duroc Market Barrels weighing 223 to 268 pounds. 223 to 268, our class 20 to the show ring. While the judge is working on our first of 2 Market Barrow Duroc classes, we want to, of course, thank all of our volunteers. The fair wouldn't happen. We'll start with our fair board, and I know we have several fair board members here. We have Deb Gottliebson. Deb, she's sitting here next to Brian, and I know we have Derek and Troy and several of our fair board members. So let's give a round of applause to our fair board. Countless hours go into making this week happen. We also have some of our volunteers on the show ring. Like I said, there are seniors who graduated last year from the Swine Project. We're thanking Mariah Creaser, Jack Leckler, Eli Biesterveld, and Jack Edwards. So round of applause to our ring staff today. And throughout the year, our superintendents help coordinate the program, get the swine exhibitors all ready. So in the barns, we have Tina Edwards, Tim Holstead, and Jenna Creaser. So a round of applause for our superintendents here on the Swine Show.
Let's put our hands together for our Duroc exhibitors. Had a nice class of Durocs out here. There's some high quality ones in here, and there's 2 of them that surface. Just 2 kind of complete hogs that have some power, have some structural integrity, and have some balance and look. And one of them just happens to be past a little 12 o'clock, and the other one is right on the money today and just hitting 12 o'clock. Young man in front of me wins this class, I think, pretty handily. This barrel is lean and muscular, and he's just right there in terms of shape and condition. Gets out on the move and looks good as well. Young man's got one over here that's getting out of the gate just a tick early and got a little attitude, but that's a nice kind of barrel. He's sound, he's functional, he's big-footed, got a ton of power working in him, and he's balanced up, and I like that barrel quite a bit. He just about 20 days past 12 o'clock, getting a little condition and not quite in there to kind of win this class, but that is a high-quality exhibit. Young lady brings one out of third, and this one, you get a look at him initially like, wow, he's really exquisite. He's exceptional in his top line, got all that shape and power working. He just can't handle those rear legs. Movement is his issue. If we get him out and motor and move off those rear legs, may have had an injury at some time, maybe in his spine or one of his rear legs. We've had that happen at our house a few times. If he doesn't get injured and he can move, he gives you all you want in this class because he's a good one. He's good looking and with all that muscle and shape. As we work our way down in this class, we've got some good pigs. We've got a pig here that's just got some movement issues. It maybe got injured, whatever it may be, can't quite motor today, and some pigs that don't have as much power as we had in our top couple, but nice kind of hogs, well fed, well presented, just not enough of them to get up into those top 2 spots. Let's give them a hand again. Your exhibitors brought a nice set of pigs.
In our Duroc Purebred Market Barrow class, first place was exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier, second place by Castian Steinmeier, and third place by Katie Steinmeier. We're now moving on to our second of 2 Duroc Purebred Market Barrow classes with Class 21 to the show ring. Our Durocs in this class weigh 273 to a whopping 331 pounds. So who can guess, as the 6 or 7 hogs come to the show ring, which one weighed 331 pounds?
Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, during the livestock show, anything over 300 pounds you get for free. Just saying. You get a little extra bacon on that one. Just saying. Well, a little more trivia for you this morning. This from the Wisconsin Farm Bureau's Agriculture in the Classroom. Now, did you know that agriculture isn't just on the land here in Wisconsin? Fish farming, also known as aquaculture, of course, is another form of agriculture. There are 2,500 registered fish farms in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin is home to the first and largest indoor Atlantic salmon farm. I had no idea. Coming from Wisconsin Farm Bureau and the Ag in the Classroom program. Thank you to our sponsors of our coverage of the Junior Swine Show today. And of course, that includes the Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board. They are the sponsors of our streaming video service, along with Dunn Energy, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, NTech, your premier communications and entertainment provider, Durand, Sundstrom and Company, downtown Durand, your local tax experts. Visit them online or call them as we get ready for end-of-year tax planning. You can call them at 672-4425. That's 672-4425. To schedule that appointment. And Bauer Seeds and Service, your local Pioneer Seed and Pivot Bio dealer serving the Durand area. Visit BauerSeedsandService.com for more information. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business and tell them thank you for supporting our video streams. Without their help, we wouldn't be here today. So please thank them for their support. Also let the Dunn County Fair Board know as well that you appreciate these video streams. They've been helping us out all week, getting us tables, place to set up, power, and more. So please thank them as well.
Again, today we're on our second class of our purebred Market Barrow Durocs. On deck should be our Hampshire Market Barrow, and our Poland China Market Barrow should be on deck, class 22 and 23. Again, a lot of these animals will be featured in our market animal auction tomorrow evening. Starts at 5 p.m. The youth will get to sell one animal. As you can see, some of them have multiple animals today that they're exhibiting. So they'll pick one and exhibit it tomorrow. In our swine auction there, the minimum weight was 230 pounds, and our maximum paid weight is 300. So our heaviest hog here of 331, you'll get 31 extra pounds on there that you won't have to pay for. So you only have to pay for up to 300 pounds of the hog. So come out, be a bidder. I'm sure these kids have done well raising these animals over the last few months and would appreciate coming out and supporting these 4-H, FFA, and these association animals. So please come join us tomorrow evening for the auction, 5 p.m.
apologize for taking a little longer in this class. There's a class winner, and then it gets tough after that. A young lady in front of me has a nice Duroc barrel that wins this class, I think, pretty easily. One that's got a bunch of power. He's the soundest one. Got the best look and balance of our class. Just kind of separates from the pack. Nice exhibit. I think the two next barrels get close. I like them both. They both have some power and some look. They're well presented. I think this barrel that the young lady has just has a little more it and a little more power. Get on top of him. He's really big in his hip. Really opens up in his stifle and has a tremendous amount of power. Wants to swing those rear legs, and that's why I couldn't get him into that first spot. I think the young man brings us a nice barrel, too. He just kind of runs out of gas when you get in behind him. Doesn't have that robust power when he's going away. Doesn't track as good at the ground as our class winner in second. And that's why I kind of got him into third. But that's still a nice Duroc barrel that gives us a lot of good. Young man's got one coming out of fourth, and I think this one 30 days ago could be better, or if he just slowed up a little bit. This is a nice kind of barrel that's good looking. He's sound. He's got some bone work. He's got some feet and legs. He just passed 12 o'clock and getting more mature and not staying that fresh power like we have in our top three. As we work our way down our class in these, the same kind of situation, barrels, high quality barrels that got fed well, are still sound enough, just past 12 o'clock, are carrying more condition than needed to work their way up and win this class. Let's give these exhibitors a hand, though. They brought a high quality set of Durocs out today.
In that second Duroc Purebred Market Barrel class, first place was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. Second place by Emily Zukowski. Third place by Samuel Steinmeier. We'll now name our overall Duroc Market Barrel champ. So we'd have our first place from our lightweight class, Samuel Steinmeier, and our first place from our heavyweight class, Miranda Creaser, to the show ring. We do have beautiful weather today, but it is a good reminder as it starts to warm up for our exhibitors in the barn that pigs can't sweat. They don't have sweat glands, so be sure that you're watering down your pigs, making sure that they're cool, and pouring some water on top of them, because pigs can't sweat versus us over here at the table, we're sweating a little bit, right, Jenna?
Not at all. Not sweating at all. Add another 35 degrees and I'll feel comfortable then. I won't have to wear a coat. Just saying. Those of you watching on our Facebook Live feed at our Facebook page at WRDN 1430 AM stereo and 107.3 FM. Let us know in the comments section where you're watching from this morning. Always curious to find out where folks are watching us from. I know Beaver Dam, Milwaukee checked in earlier along with O'Galley, Colfax, or O'Galley and Durand as well. Let us know in the comments section.
Got a really nice set of class winners in our Duroc division, and our young exhibitors brought us two really good ones. They're at different little stages in their development, but and have some little quirks about them, but these are two high-quality barrels that can stand some competition. The lightweight barrel is one that is just fresh and just youthful, and he's right there today. His only issue for me he's got such a tremendously big hip. His loin doesn't quite match it yet, and I think it would with time. He's got some time to give yet. He's going to get nothing but better. Nice kind of pig. Our heavyweight class winner, when you get in and study him, he's more mature, so that loin's kind of filled. He's not quite as good on his rear leg. He wants to swing those legs a little bit, gets him a little trouble, and he's getting a little crusty, just a little past 12 o'clock. But those are two nice barrels. The lightweight needs to be your champion, though. Nice kind of barrel to win the Duroc division.
Our champion purebred market barrel Duroc was exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier. We'd asked Cashton Steinmeier to bring back his second place in that purebred market barrel class for naming of reserve champ.
Jack. Edward. Your jeans is open over there. Lift it up.
Cashton Steinmeier, could you please bring your second place purebred market barrel for naming of reserve?
Thank you to our sponsors of our coverage today from the Dunn County Fair, including Elsivia Co-op, a leading member-owned agriculture fuel cooperative serving Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. Visit elsivia.com. SFB, Security Financial Bank, where electronic banking is easy. Visit sfbank.com for more information. And 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom, building a smart fiber optic community from the ground up. Find out more, visit wwt.coop. Along with Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, your touchstone energy partner. Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board is our streaming video service sponsor as well. Thank you to them. So please thank all of our sponsors for making our video streams possible today from the Dunn County Fair. Give our sponsors a call, visit their website and send them an email, or visit their business and tell them thank you for supporting these video streams and that you appreciate their sponsorship of these
Again,
streams.
we're finishing up with our Duroc purebred market barrows. We'll move on to our purebred market barrow Hampshire class, followed by our Poland China purebred market barrow class, concluding with Yorkshire purebred market barrow. Please note, exhibitors, we have a little bit of a misnumbering in our class numbers. So we are on, we'll be on class 22 purebred market barrow, not crossbred. 22 purebred market barrow.
As we bring out our second in that second place individual out of that first class, talked about him a little bit. This is a nice complete barrel, maybe a little past 12 o'clock. He's carrying a little more condition than ideal, but you kind of see through all that, and what you've got there is a high quality pig that's super functional and sound, and he pushes this class winner. This class winner has definitely got the power advantage. He's more cracked open in terms of his rib shape and hip. He just can't quite handle those rear legs are good enough. But you kind of study and think through those two. My second place, or my first place out of this class 2 needs to be a reserve, just on a sheer power advantage. He's going to be a reserve in a tough decision. Those are two high quality barrels, so let's congratulate them both.
Your reserve champ Duroc purebred market barrow was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. We'll now move into our Hampshire purebred market barrow class. This barrow weighing 250 pounds, our Hampshire purebred market barrow. Again, our Poland China market barrow should be on deck, followed by Yorkshire purebred market barrow class.
It's time to play chase.
We just have a lone entry in our Hampshire division, but let's give this young lady a nice hand for bringing us a good pig. Tell you what, this is a nice kind of Hampshire barrel. Hampshires are not known for that much speed and agility. Usually they don't walk very well, and this is very abnormal that you'd have one that can get out and motor like that. Plus, he's a heavy muscled one, so this is a pretty darn nice Hampshire. He's sound and got muscle. They don't make many of those. Let's congratulate her again. She brought you a really nice Hampshire barrel.
And now he's like, I think I'm going to take a victory lap here. Yep, that's just exactly what he's doing. Well, now they're going to meet at the middle. Say, hey, how's it going? Pretty nice day out here, isn't it? Yeah, I just won. Yeah, well, great. It's my time in the ring. Get out. All right.
Got another nice exhibit in our Poland breed, and young lady brings us one that's pretty stout and he's agile, and for Polands, this is a pretty nice one that could get out in the circuit and probably does pretty well. Well maintained too. This one's good in terms of his skin and hair and been very well presented. Let's give that young lady a nice hand too. She brought you a good Poland.
All right, in that Hampshire purebred market barrel class, our winning entry was exhibited by Grace Weinzerl. In that Poland China market barrel class, our winning entry exhibited by Emily Zukowski. Now in the ring is our Yorkshire purebred market barrel class. Following this, we will ask our first place in all of our purebred market barrel classes back to the show ring for naming of our champion purebred market barrel.
our Yorkshire division in the barrel class. We've got a really nice barrel to lead off with, and then it becomes more difficult. Got to pick and decide what your priorities are after that. Young man closest to me has got a nice barrel that needs to win this class and quite handily. He's the combination of one that's got some look and balance, and he's well taken care of, but he has some power too. That combination in the Yorkshire breed's tough, and he can get out and kind of move, but he's still got some back shape, got some thickness, nice kind of barrel, wins this class pretty handily. Then we've got 3 barrels that we can kind of pick and choose We've got a nice looking, well presented, bigger barrel that doesn't have a lot of power, but he's really good looking on side and can get out and motor. We've got a smaller barrel that's got some look and balance from the side, gives up a little muscle and mass, not as appealing up in the front end, and doesn't want to handle those rear legs right. A third barrel that has got some muscle and some thickness, wants to get just a little tight in his spine and doesn't want to come out and motor. Tough decisions there. I think for me, the young lady's barrel comes second. He needs to come second because of his function and how he can move and get out and move around the ring. Like to give him some power. In third, I like the young man here. Just an added shot of dimension and power in terms of hip. And then a close decision, but young lady's barrel in fourth here. Good looking one from the side. Just need to open him up and give him a shot more power. Those are 4 nice York gilts, though. Let's give those exhibitors a hand as they've left the ring.
In that Yorkshire purebred market barrel class, first place was exhibited by Nate Edwards, second, Brenna Berg, third, Jack Steinmeier, and fourth, Katie Steinmeier. We'll now be naming our champion purebred market barrel. We'd ask our first place Berkshire, exhibited by Emily Zukowski, weighing 208 pounds, to the show ring. Our first place Chester White, exhibited by Cashton Steinmeier, weighed 266 pounds. Our champ Duroc from the 2 classes was exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier, weighing 245 pounds. Our champion Hampshire, exhibited by Grace Weinzerl, weighed 250 pounds. Our one entry of Poland, China, exhibited by Emily Zukowski, weighed 269 pounds. And that last class of Yorkshire purebred market barrel, exhibited by Nate Edwards, weighed 303 pounds.
Championship drive here in these market barrows. Those of you watching this morning on our Facebook live feed, let us know in the comments section where you're watching us from today. Always like to find out where folks are watching from. We've got Beaver Dam, Milwaukee, Durand, O'Galley, just to name a few today.
Put your hands together for your class winners or breed winners in your barrel show. Brought a really awesome set of purebred barrels out for you, and there's some give and take in here, and we're big on peers at home. We've got a bunch of different breeds that we raise, and they're tough to make. They're even tougher to train. So these kids out here that make it look pretty easy, just getting them out in the ring, it's not that easy. They're not easy to train. They are not nearly as smart as those crossbreds. They've got double the amount of time in these pigs guaranteed as those crosses. It just takes longer to get them to go. But once you get them there, they're a great project. You just got to have some patience with them. There's one out here that separates. I was looking for one to compete with our overall champion and couldn't find it. He needs to win. And it just a more exquisite looking one that's dialed in, got top shape, can get out and motor. your Duroc's going to be your champion in your pre-bred division.
And our champion purebred market barrow, the Duroc, was exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier. We'd ask our reserve champ, Duroc, to the show ring for naming of reserve champion purebred market barrow. Our reserve champ, Duroc, exhibited by Miranda Creaser, weighed 277 pounds.
As we bring our reserve Duroc out there, he certainly gets in the mix here. He's one of the contenders. I think he is one of the 2 contenders to get out for reserve. I'd like to see him, as I talked about him, swinging that rear leg a little bit. That concerns me, and he's a little past 12 o'clock. If I'm pulling one out of this set that I want to take home and put in the barn and be really competitive going out somewhere else, he's the Hampshire. He's going to be your reserve in this deal. It's one that's competitive in the Hampshire division. He's got all that power, still gets out and moves. Congratulations, young lady, your reserve.
Our reserve champion purebred market barrow, that Hampshire, was exhibited by Grace Weinzerl. We'll now move into our crossbred market barrow classes. We'll start with class 22, our lightweight crossbred market barrows weighing 223 to 250 pounds. Again, class 22 crossbred market barrow to the show ring.
Watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior
Again,
Swine
there
Show.
was a duplication in some of our class numbers. So just to clarify, again, we're starting with our crossbred market barrow class. We should have 8 market barrows to the show ring, those weighing 223 to 250. Emily, Logan, Hunter, Owen, Cooper, Edward, Braden, and Aubrey should have their market barrows to the show ring.
Some more Wisconsin Fun Farm facts from Wisconsin Farm Bureau's Agriculture in the Classroom. Wisconsin ranks number 1 in the nation for cranberries, corn for silage, snap beans for canning, dry whey, milking goats, cheese, and ginseng. While we rank number 2 for milk production and forages, well, with the dairy, that kind of makes sense. And ranks number 3 for carrots, green peas, potatoes, and we have those grown here in western Wisconsin, along with sweet corn. Some fun farm facts from the Wisconsin Agriculture in the Classroom with Wisconsin Farm Bureau. Later on this afternoon at about 1 o'clock, we'll have coverage of the beef show. So be sticking around a little bit for that as well. We'll make the mad dash from the swine show here. Once they are done with their regular classes, we always step away when showmanship starts. And then we will go to the beef show. Hopefully we'll get there in time, or we'll have to start in the middle or with it already in progress. Thank you to Numbers Are Us, your daily money managers, 3rd Avenue West, Durand. Visit Rhonda online at numbersareus.com. Find out what a daily money manager can do to help you and your family. You can also visit Rhonda on Facebook. Also, a Galley Cheese Factory for all of your snacking needs. They feature cheese, locally made beef sticks, sausage, ice cream, and more. Galley Cheese Factory open 7 days a week, Highway 25, Durand.
As we start into our crossbred barrows, I have another nice class and one that needs to win quite handily. Young lady's got a nice barrow over here heading my way. This is a nice complete barrow. He's well fed, he's fresh, he's good on his feet and legs, got a nice shape to his top line, and when he gets out on side view, he's the most balanced one we've got in the class. Gets a little closer from second and third, but I think young man here has got a nice barrel for second. This is a square-backed one. He's big-legged, got tremendous amount of shape working down his top, and he doesn't want to get out and drive as good with as much pace, but when you catch a glimpse of this one, when he's moving, he's good-looking, he's up-fronted, and he's a kind of a complete barrel that's got some future ahead of him if he's got some days, because he's a good-looking one with some power and some bone. Nice place for second. The barrel we've got coming out of third, this is a well-fed one that's super fresh. Big top, big back, really heavy muscled one, but he's not as true in terms of his design. He wants to get out on the move and pop that top up, not walk on those rear legs quite as nicely as our first and second placers, but that's still a nice kind of barrel. Got a nice blue barrel that comes out of 4. This is a heavy muscled one. Tremendous amount of shape and muscle in this one. He gets a little tight in terms of his rear leg. Doesn't want to balance up as good as our top 3, but that's still a high quality hog that can stand some competition. We work our way down the line. We got some bits and pieces. This is the heaviest muscled pig in the class, but he is a truck, but needs to be elevated a little bit so he's got some future size and grow, and then work our way into some pigs that don't have quite enough power. That's a nice set of pigs to start our crossbred barrow division. Give your exhibitors a nice hand as we work our way into our crossbred drive.
In our lightweight crossbred market barrow class, our first place was exhibited by Emily Zukowski, second place by Hunter Roberts, and third place by Owen Howe. Now moving on to our class 23, our crossbred market barrow. These hogs weighed 252 to 272 pounds. Again, class 23 to the show ring.
So we continue on with our Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show. Some more trivia from the Wisconsin Pork Association. The largest single category of expense for raising pigs is feed. Well, that kind of makes sense. About 8.91 million bushels of corn, valued at $39 million, and just over 58,000 tons of soybean meal, valued at $19.19 million, are used to feed pigs in Wisconsin. Thank you to Wisconsin Pork Association for some of those fun farm facts with the Wisconsin hog industry this morning. Sorry about that. The wireless mic decided to. Well, some of the pigs are getting a little cranky right now. So it looks like we're down to our last 4 here in this class.
Let's put our hands together for our Class 2 of market barrels. Got a big class and a nice set of them. I think there's one you study through and just look at structure and power and balance, and one that's super agile. Young lady over here needs to be your class winner. The nice kind of barrel. Getting just a little over in condition for me, but you kind of look through that. This one's made good. He's the soundest. He's the most flexible, most fault-free barrel we've got in the class. It's a little closer from there for me between this blue butt that's well presented and just a nice kind of stout barrel and the crossbred belted barrel over here. Those two barrels are very similar. They're good-looking, stout barrels with a lot of power. I prefer the blue butt second, just a little more movement there and better on his rear feet, bigger in his hip, just slightly bigger in that hip as well. He's going to be second. Comes down to fourth is the barrel that kind of Berkshire appearing barrel, and I like this barrel quite a bit. He's one that's got a lot of muscle and power. He's agile. He can get out in the room and move. His back shape is not quite as true, and he doesn't want to handle those rear legs quite as nice as a couple of them that we had up in the class. Our escapee that turned out, the mostly blue barrel that kind of caught a second gear and got through our gate, that's a nice barrel as well. He was fresh. He's big. He's good-legged, and obviously he's a pretty strong one to get through that gate, but that's a nice kind of barrel to sit in our fifth hole. As we work our way down our class, I talked to some of these and some of the youngsters here, and they're a nice set of barrels through here. They're maybe either catching a little more condition than needed or not quite enough muscle to get up into those top couple spots, but that was a competitive barrel class. Let's give them a hand again as they've left the ring and had a good set of pigs for you.
In that second crossbred market barrel class, our first place was exhibited by Brenna Berg, second place to Braden Wolf, third place to Drew Pesa, and fourth place to Chase Albright. We're now moving into our third of 5 crossbred market barrel classes. These barrels weigh 275 to 280 pounds. Again, we're on Class 24, crossbred market barrels to the show ring, Class 24.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Winnikins reporting from the Dunn County Fair. Let's take a look at markets at the midday at the Good afternoon. I'm Brian Winnikins from the Dunn County Fair. Let's take a look at markets at the midday. At the Mercantile Exchange, double-digit gains in the milk markets. August up 23 to 2046. September up 27 to 2144. October up 23 to 2120. And November milk now up 19 to 2047. Cheese markets today, barrels and blocks were steady. Barrels at 193, 40-pound blocks at 197. One trade a barrel on the day. Cash butter down a quarter to 309. No trades on the day. Trading on fat dry milk up a quarter to 123 and a quarter. 5 trades on the day. Dry whey up 3 to 52 even. And one trade on the day. Meanwhile, in the cattle markets today, live and feeder cattle markets continue to move mostly higher. We've seen some weakness in the grain markets, but we've also seen some good cash markets, and that's helping to to support many of the cattle contracts today. Box beef prices also being higher today as well. Meanwhile, hog markets, they are moving mostly higher as well. Again, some pork cutout values helping to support the markets. And again, the trade watching that increasing demand. August live cattle now down 10 cents at 188.80. October, though, up 17 cents to 188.77. December up 37 cents to 189.27. August feeder cattle up $1.80 to 260.42. September up 205 to 259.95. And October up $1.67 to 258.75. August hogs up 5 cents now to 93.82. October up 62 cents to 78.42. And December up 40 cents to 70.35. Meanwhile, at the Chicago Board of Trade, corn and soybeans and wheat all moving mostly lower today. Now there's been really soybeans leading most of the complex lower, and that's helping to pressure corn and beans. Warmer and drier weather should continue into next week, but there could be some rains.
You brought us another high
along. And soybeans leading the entire grain complex lower. So the longs are taking profit ahead of the weekend forecast update. So we're going to watch that rain predicted in the forecast. Wheat markets moving mostly lower again with the rest of the row crop weakness. Really, no other fresh news to help support prices.
I like the young man's here.
September corn down 9 1/4 to 396 3/4. So December and March both down 9. December at 411 3/4. March at 426 1/4. New crop 25 down.
It sets it truer, especially as he's just heading away from you. You know he's a
Meanwhile,
small
August
one.
beans down 25 to 291. September
And
down
he's good
25
looking to
3/4
go
to
with that young
10.48
lady. Does a
3/4.
fantastic job. Give this one to get out through. Just a highly trained pig.
New crop
And he is
25
really
down
good on side
17
view. He's
3/4
really good to look at. He's balanced out. Good about his neck shape. The way it comes into the crest of his neck is really nice. He wants to camp in with his rear
Leg just a little bit and doesn't want to track away with just as much true power as our class winner. That's still a high quality barrel sitting in second place. Young lady brings us a belted barrel out of 3. This is the powerhouse of the class. When you get in and study him, he is super wide from behind. He's got a big back working in him. Labors a little more in terms of motion. He doesn't have that look and show ring appeal, but this is a carcass hog that's lean, muscular. Just need to make him so he can get around the ring and motor a little bit, but high quality exhibit for this young lady. Did a nice job feeding him. The blue butt that comes out next is similar. This is one of the higher cutability hogs in the class. He's got some power working down his top. Nice, nicely fed one with a big hip. Changes rear leg structure, and he can move up a spot, but another nice kind of barrel. As we worked our way on our class, 3 barrels that just don't have enough sheer muscle and carcass cut ability to get up into the top of the class, but still well-fed ones that are well presented that they took care of. Give them a big hand as they've left the ring. You had another nice set of pigs coming out in crossbred division.
In that crossbred market barrel of hogs weighing 275 to 280, first place was exhibited by Nate Edwards, second place by Miranda Creaser, and third place by Sophia Bauer. Again, we're moving on into class 25. These hogs weigh 284 to 290 pounds. Again, class 25, crossbred market barrel to the show ring.
Milk markets are higher from the Dunn County Fair. I'm Brian Winnekins with this market update on WRDN. August milk up 22 to 20.45. September up 28 to 21.45. October up 21 to 21.24. And November milk up 17 to 20.45. Meanwhile, at the Board of Trade and the Mercantile Exchange on the livestock side, live and feeder cattle markets moving up mostly higher as we've seen some strength in box beef prices and even some late week cash strength helping to support the cattle hogs moving higher as well. And those pork cutout values have been higher this week. Strength in cash markets and consumer demand all helping the hogs. August live cattle now down 12 cents to 188.77, but August feeder cattle up $1.70 to 260.32. Weakness in grain also helping feeder cattle. Hog markets up cents to 93.82. Chicago Board of Trade, corn, soybeans, and wheat all moving mostly lower. Soybeans really leading the way, mostly lower on long liquidation ahead of the weekend as the trade watches the weather forecast. Yes, heat and dryness coming in, but there now is some rain being put into that forecast. So that's really pressuring beans and also corn and wheat as well. New crop corn down 9 to 4.11 and 3/4. New crop beans down 26 to 10.53.5. September wheat down 10 and 3/4 to 5.27. Minneapolis wheat September down 13 and 1/4. From the Dunn County Fair, I'm Brian.
As we are approaching the lunch hour here, and our judge is doing our crossbank class, Brian took a minute to pause from his facts over here. But again, thank Brian Winnikin from WRDN, who's live broadcasting. So if your friends and family can't be here today, be sure to tune over to his Facebook page, WRDN's, or YouTube. And you can see the live stream. Brian's doing all of our livestock classes during the Dunn County Show, including the auction tomorrow evening. But here's our quiz question for today. The average American eats how many pounds of pork a year? The average American eats how many pounds of pork a year?
64.
Well, Jack said 64, and that's actually 46. So you're dyslexic there, but 46 pounds is the average American eats of pork a year. So thank you. If you want to buy some of the pork that we've seen today, okay, again, meat animal auction tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Grab a bidder number. If you come early, they usually have some meal for you to eat. So again, 5 p.m. tomorrow night, the auction. You'll see these kids as well as their pigs being sold.
Wow. Perfect.
Debatable.
Perfect.
You're up to this big.
Your young exhibitors brought out another really high quality set of barrels. Let's give them a hand. Put her hands together one more time for the barrel exhibitors. This is a really interesting class. There's a lot of give and take in here, a lot of differences. There's one that I usually don't go with this much power and kind of moderate, but this one's still made good enough for the tremendous amount of power he's got. He is one of the stoutest barrels I've seen this summer. His feet and legs don't quite match that power, but it's pretty close, and he's one that motors pretty darn good for that power. Young man in the middle of the ring is going to win this class, and with a really interesting barrel that is tremendously stout. From there, it gets a little tougher. We've got a couple of nice white barrels and a blue-headed barrel that kind of got to be second and third in here between these two, and they're both similar. They're barrels that are tremendously good in terms of structure. They can get out and move. They're well-presented ones that can float around the ring. They just don't have quite enough power, especially going away, to kind of get super excited about them, but they're not devoid of muscle either. These are two good barrels. This is a close decision for me. I like the all-white barrel second. He's one that structurally he's flawless. If this was a straight York, and he kind of looks like he could be, and he may or may not be, but as a straight Yorkshire barrel, this one's really tough. Or if he's down south and he's a southwest York, he's a really competitive one because he's got enough power and muscle, just enough, and he is one of the structurally best ones we've had of the day. I like this blue-headed one too. He's a powered up barrel. He's well presented. Young man did a nice job showing him. I'd like to drop his flank a little bit and change him on those rear feet. He wants to toe in and kind of turn as he's going away from me, and that's why he got into third. But the young man does such a nice job showing him. It takes a while to find it. We got another white barrel that comes out of fourth, just kind of runs into a buzzsaw in terms of power. That one needs to be thicker, have more muscle to get into those top three spots. And that kind of rounds out our class. We've got well-fed barrels. They've got some size. They've got some grow power. Just don't have enough meat and muscle in them to get into the top couple spots in the class. Once again, give them a round of applause. Your exhibitors keep bringing out good ones.
In that class of crossbred market barrows weighing 284 to 290 pounds, first place was exhibited by Braden Wolf. Second place shown by Brady Berg. Third place, Samuel Steinmeier. And fourth place, Claire Hausler. We're now going into our fifth and final heavyweight class of crossbred market barrows, class 26 to the show ring. These hogs weighed 296 to 330 pounds. So 296 to 330, our final class of crossbred market barrows.
Again, watching coverage of the Dunn County Fair Junior Swine Show today. Some more fun farm facts from Wisconsin's Ag in the Classroom. The top 3 impacts of Wisconsin agriculture. Wisconsin agriculture contributes $104.8 billion to the state's economy. I know the tourism folks, they're at what, 25 billion? But not close to that 104.8 billion that agriculture provides to our state's economy. Agriculture provides 435,700 jobs in Wisconsin. That's nearly 12% of all of the jobs in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin agriculture exports products to 142 different countries. The top 5 export countries, by the way, Canada, China, Mexico, Korea, and Japan. Thank you to the Wisconsin Agriculture in the Classroom with Wisconsin Farm Bureau for some of those fun farm facts.
Again, we're on our final crossbred market barrel class. On deck, we are moving into our champion crossbred market barrels, so we should have those first place blues from the crossbred market barrel classes ready to come back for the naming of champion.
in our heavyweight barrow division, or super modified, some call them. We've got a really nice pair of barrows to lead this off with, and the longer I studied this pair, and they hit me, both of them hit me pretty hard right out of the gate. This is a high quality set of big barrows. They're tough to make. They're tough to keep sound. When you got barrows that are in that 300-pound range and they can get around the ring and kind of float, that's tough to do. But as the longer you study them, there's one that just keeps separating and gets better and better and keeps wearing on you. He's well balanced. He's got power and bone. He's highly presented. Young lady right here is going to win this heavy class. That's a super competitive heavyweight barrow. That's right on 12 o'clock for a 300-pounder. Young lady's got another big barrel, though. This is a good barrel. He is a little past, just a shot past 12 o'clock, but when you study him, good-legged, got lots of bone. He's really flexible for that kind of size. Balance is up good. He's just not quite as fresh, just doesn't have quite that it factor of our class winner, but that's a highly competitive barrel that has a lot of good in him and a tremendous amount of balance. We've got a belted barrel that the young man's got here, and in the heavy class, this is a good kind of pig. He's got some muscle working in him. He's tremendously big in his hip. He is just carrying a little too much condition compared to our top two to get into those spots, but that's a functional kind of market hog that's been well fed, well taken care of, nice pig. The blue butt barrel that comes out next is one that I like quite a bit too. That's a good kind of barrel, stout, rugged in his makeup, sound enough, just a little past 12 o'clock, carrying a little more condition, but nice kind of barrel to fit in there. And we round our class as we work our way down. These are good barrels that just miss the target by just a little bit and got a little heavy on them, carrying a little more condition, but got to admire them for the amount of feed and the conversion that they've had. They've gained good and are nice hogs. Give those exhibitors a nice round of applause in our last class of the crossbred division.
In that heavyweight class, our class 26, first place was exhibited by Miranda Creaser, second place by Chloe Doomer, and third place by Owen Howe. We'll now be naming our champion crossbred market barrow. We will ask our first place from our 5 classes to return to the show ring. In our lightweight class, our first place was exhibited by Emily Zukowski, weighing 223 pounds. Second class, our first blue, was exhibited by Brenna Berg with a hog weighing 257. Our third class was exhibited by Nate Edwards with a hog weighing 275. Our fourth class, our first blue, was exhibited by Braden Wolf, weighing 288. And again in that heavyweight class, our market barrow weighed 300 pounds, exhibited by Miranda Creaser. We'd ask our second place blues to be on deck for naming of champion crossbred market barrow. All right, the judge is naming of our champion crossbred market barrel, followed by reserve. Then we will name our overall champion market hog for today.
I want to start off by thanking you for having me come judge your show. I really like to get out of our home area to go see some different pigs and different environment. I get to sit under the oak tree today, which is awesome. Most of the time we're in a stuffy barn. This is about as good as it gets right here. Picked a perfect day to have a show. And I want to compliment the people behind the scenes. You've had a number of pigs in here that are really high quality. It's been a competitive show, and if you're ringside, you got to understand you got pigs in this ring right now that literally some young man or woman is spending a half hour a day plus working on those pigs. This just doesn't happen. They just don't get them out of the pen and walk them in and have skin and hair look like this and get them to walk across this ring. That doesn't happen. It takes a lot of time, and it doesn't happen in a week. They started back in May probably, or April, and have had that much time with them to get them to go. So it takes a tremendous amount of commitment, but at the end of the day, these are the kids that I'm going to go hire when I'm out looking, because they've got work ethic, and they get out in the barn. They've got to clean pens, because most likely mom and dad get tired of cleaning pens pretty quick, and then the kids got to clean the pens. So that's a must at our place too. So it's a work ethic deal. It's getting out there. It's learning to take care of stock, to know when they're sick, all that. This is a well-rounded machine to get them to this point. And you've had a bunch of good ones out here that have shown well and been highly presented. Hats off to you. So let's congratulate not just these class winners, but the parents and the people behind the scenes that make this all work. Let's give one last round of applause. There's one barrel out here that just separates. He's the man-child of this deal. He's the soundest one. He's the best made one. Best on his feet and legs. He's the complete one that has the package. He gives you the silhouette when he gets out moving. He's adequate in terms of muscle and power, but where he really excels is balance and look. When he gets out on side view, and he's motoring and gets it going, he is without question the soundest one, the highest integrity structured one. And it's this barrel over here riding the fence, which gets back to the barn. Nice pig.
Our champion crossbred market barrow comes from our heavyweight class, was exhibited by Miranda Creaser. We'd ask Chloe Doomer with her second place crossbred market barrow back to the show ring. Chloe Doomer.
Get our reserve champion in our market barrels and our overall champion of the show coming up.
Again, the judge is looking at our reserve champion crossbred barrow. Then we'll go into naming of our overall market hog for today's Dunn County Swine Show. So our champions, our market gilts, and our market barrows be on deck for naming of grand champion market hog.
For reserve, it gets a little tougher for me. There's a lot of ways you can go in this, and I'll talk about them briefly. It'll just be quick. We start with our lightweight, nice fresh barrel, good looking, got enough power. Rear leg isn't just perfect. Wants to turn a little bit. Other than that, that's a solid kind of barrel. We work into, let's say, the blue-eyed barrel coming at me. Nice barrel, highly presented, skin and hair is impeccable on this one. He gets a little short-hipped and wants to roll out on that hock ever so slightly. Otherwise, he is right in the thick of it and still is in the thick of it. The mostly black barrel with a belt over here, carrying a little more condition. I called him out in class. That one, I think, if he were slowed up a little bit somewhere along the line and was just a shot leaner, he is a sound one. He's got some hip shape, he's got some dimension, but he's just a little plain because he's carrying that extra condition. That's a solid kind of barrel that's pretty fault-free, just a little carrying a little too much cover for me. We've got the the super modified heavy muscled one here that is not typically in my wheelhouse because he just tremendously out there in terms of top shape and muscle. Is not one that likes to cooperate very good. You got to go a long ways to find one that stout. I mean, that dude has got a ton of power working in him. You want to get critical on him, it's a rear leg. But his rear leg is pretty darn good for how stout he is and how thick and muscular that one is. We get into our heavyweight one. I think that's a good barrel too. I called him out in class. He's a little overdone, but for one that big and to be that heavy to have that much soundness is tough to do. He's not perfect on his rear leg. Needs a shot more muscle to kind of get in the thick of it. For me, it boils down to two of them. There's two of them that have the most of it, and one of them's a little overbaked, and one of them's not quite right on his feet. For me, it's between the over-conditioned belted one and the super modified, super heavy muscled one. For me, the one I'd have wanted to have in my barn to work on and tweak on with quality is this barrel right here. He's going to be a reserve.
Your reserve champion crossbred Market Barrow was exhibited by Braden Wolf. Congratulations. We'll now be moving into our grand champion Market Hog for today's show. We'll have that crossbred Market Barrow champion exhibited by Miranda Creaser, weighing 300 pounds, back to the show ring. Our champion purebred Market Gilt, a Yorkshire that was exhibited by Nate Edwards. Our champion crossbred Market Gilt, exhibited by Brenna Berg. And our champion purebred Market Barrow, a Duroc, exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier. Those four pigs to the ring for naming of our grand champion Market Hog.
And after that, we will be stepping away here for about a half hour or so. We'll have to make the mad dash, try to make the switch over to the beef show, which is starting at about 1 o'clock. So we will be stepping away after the naming of the grand champion of the show and the reserve grand champion. Hope you've enjoyed coverage of the Junior Swine Show today. Again, we have the beef show here this afternoon coming up shortly. Again, we have to move all of our equipment and get swapped over, so it will take us a little bit to get it moved and reset. Hope to have everything going here right around 1 o'clock.
Again, our champion purebred Market Gilt, our Yorkshire, exhibited by Nate Edwards, weighed 290 pounds. Our champion crossbred Market Gilt, exhibited by Brenna Berg, weighed 285 pounds. Our champion purebred Market Barrow, the Duroc, exhibited by Samuel Steinmeier, weighed 245 pounds. And our crossbred Market Barrow champion, exhibited by Miranda Creaser, weighed 300 pounds. Again, we'll see these animals and our youth tomorrow night at the Dunn County Meat Animal Auction tomorrow evening here under the oak trees at 5 p.m. Again, if you're a bidder interested in buying one of these animals, we invite you to come early for the dinner that's sponsored by our youth. Again, we have 4-H, FFA, and association members here, and of course all their families in the behind the barns and all the volunteers. So thank everybody for making the show happen today. And our judge is going to make his decision here for our grand champion market hog. We would ask our reserve champion market animals to be on deck, coming back to the show ring for naming of our reserve grand champion.
Get naming our reserve or our grand champion. Yeah, the pigs are kind of like, okay, we're done doing this. We were agreeable early in the morning, but we're no longer agreeable. We're done. They're like, it's time to kind of, noon hour nap. I get it, man. We have our beef show here coming up too.
Let's put our hands together one last time for our overall champion market hog exhibitors. Should be really proud as a county to have these 4 out here. These are 4 high quality hogs, and I'll talk about them just briefly. Duroc Barrow, not quite there yet, but he's a good one. He's big hipped, he's stout, maybe mid body, doesn't quite match up with that tremendously big hip he's got, but it sure could come, and he's and walking on a bunch of bone. Yorkshire Gilt, one that possibly could win the breeding gilt show too. This one is good looking. She's balanced from the side. It's tough to make these for a Yorkshire. There aren't many of these out there. Is she robust enough to win the overall deal? Typical York, they're not super heavy footed, but this one is unique that she has tremendous back shape and hip. That is an awfully high quality gilt. Very nice gilt to win those purebreds. We've got 2 fence riders, and there are crossbreds, the 2 that we kind of would love to see kind of prance for us because they're unique ones that got out of some tough drives and beat some competition. We look at the market gilt, tremendously big hipped one that's, I think, almost flawless in her feet and legs. Balance from the side if she walks is really good. She's not a hairy one, so her skin and hair is not there. She's a shocking one when I get right up on top of her, how true she is in her rib shape, how big and robust she is in her hip. Wish she maybe had just a shot more bone, and her head is just a notch frail if you're going to get ultra critical on her, but that's a really, really good gilt. Then we've got our crossbred Barrow. I came out of that super modified heavyweight class, so he's in that 300-pound section. Heavy bone, balanced one with power and look. He's going to be your champion. Crossbred Barrow wins your drive and is the champion overall.
Congratulations. Our grand champion market hog from today was exhibited by Miranda Creaser, the winning crossbred market Barrow, weighing 300 pounds. We'd ask our reserve champ crossbred market Barrow, exhibited by Braden Wolf, back to the show ring, naming of our reserve grand champion market hog.
As we get in and look at reserve and kind of pick through what we've got, high quality exhibits, all are good in their own right. The one that keeps moving, keeps flexing, has the stamina to make the drive and keep rolling. The Yorkshire Gilt is going to be your reserve overall.
Congratulations. Our reserve grand champion market hog today was exhibited by Nate Edwards, the champion purebred market gilt. We'll now be moving into the bred and owned class.
All right, we're going to step away here from the show now as we head on into the beef arena. We're going to start making our switch over to the beef arena, and we'll get that underway here just after 1 o'clock. So again, thank you for joining us today, and we will be back here just a little bit with the beef show from the Dunn County Fair. I'm Brian Winnikins. If you're stepping away, well, you have a great afternoon. We hope to see you here at the fair in Menominee.